Look at us go. Look at us go.
We're trying to get it. All right.
Look at us.
There we go.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Look at us. I don't got the same lights as you do. I could turn on a light for this. I don't know how it'll look though. See, I haven't turned these lights on ever.
No, this looks. Oh. I need to talk about your darkness so we can turn the lights off real quick. I need to talk about your skin complexion. No.
I just felt like someone like pants me in a supermarket. That's what I felt like.
What's up, bro? It's friggin' been a while.
Dude, I've been super consumed with here. I got this for the audio bit here. Oh yeah.
That's where it is.
Yeah. It's not my first rodeo, but yeah, bro.
And gross.
I've been like, it was bad, but you know, I had a little what's it called, a cameo on one of those Waifu Mia ASMR like Joy podcasts before, so I kind of know how this goes.
Oh yeah, wait.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked. The arenas that you're in are like wildly vast, and I think that's I've wanted to have you on for a while, but I was more.
How does YouTube chat work, bro? There we go. I'm trying to pull this off my second monitor, and I can't even see it, so I'll pull it down here.
Good luck.
Perfect.
YouTube's very interesting to get into versus Twitch.
They could do it, bro. Like they're so close. They're so close.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it with what I'm doing with it, but besides that, man, it's just been it's interesting. But
well, it doesn't seem like there's like a YouTube community, bro. I mean, I'll let you get to your point in a second, but there's no like YouTube community, you know? No. Like Twitch, it's like a gang, right? You're part of Twitch, you're part of Twitch.
Yeah.
But if you're on YouTube, you're like, there's a couple guys on YouTube, and they all just like exist.
I think it's more creator centric. Like YouTube's so big to where it's hard to be like, yeah, Team YouTube is like, okay, yeah. Like it's not. It doesn't feel like a smaller niche. So like with Twitch, you're a Twitch streamer, like you got the its own language. Somebody was telling me is like with Twitch it has its own language. With YouTube it does.
I don't know it, to be honest. People say shit in my chat all the time, and the worst part is my OBS doesn't have like the emoji translate, so I'll just be reading the most fucked up chains of words ever. Yeah, like nerds unicorn 13, and I'm like, the fuck am I? Like, that's just like some guys like, no, it's a good thing. Like what the fuck? You call me? Like, what did you just say? Is that a slur?
No.
Nerds unicorn 13, bro.
Yeah. Speaking of slurs, you seem to be the person who's more cancelable than me when it comes to everyone going after you.
Did you see? Well, you probably haven't seen it. It didn't get out of hand, but
another one.
Well, not even me. It was just my teammate. But it wasn't like he. Okay, so hear me out. For updating you now with life, I've been in the competitive Valorant scene for. I took a stab at it last year. Wasn't with the right team. Didn't feel good. Also wanted to focus on content. It wasn't where I was at. Now I found a way to balance it with everything. Where I pretty much deleted the gym for the last 3 weeks or months, and I've been really focused on my free time is Valorant team. So we've been practicing as a team, which is the most thing I've never thought I'd say this in my life. I'm on a gaming team, right? Like not even like a content. I'm like, we practice the video game like reps. Like we get reps in, and it's like, it's the most I've ever enjoyed gaming in my entire life. It's outstanding.
How does that work? I feel like because with my like I tried competitive, couldn't fucking do it. Couldn't handle it.
You're just too old, bro. You don't got the sauce.
How old are you?
25. How old are you?
I'm 29.
The thing is, you're 29.
Dude,
but you got to add a year for each divorce, right? So that you get.
Okay, I'm 30.
So you're aging out, right? You really hit. You come out of your
my prime, man.
Yeah, but that's how it works. So I'm on a team with a bunch of younger guys, right? So they got the aim, and I'm just more of I started off as a sub, and I was saying, oh, okay, I want to kind of get back into it. I'll sub in for these guys, and I'm permanently taking this guy's spot, RIP ERX. But so I'm the controller main on my Valorant team. Okay. So I play the smokes role, or like the map management role, where like I kind of block off certain lines of sight, etc., for my team to take the sites. I'm not sure you're probably not too familiar with Valorant, but you played it.
No, I got into it when it was in beta, and then everybody and their mother started playing, and I realized how bad I sucked, and I was like, good. I'd like to move and shoot, and the bullets not go 90 miles in another direction.
Exactly. I still do that shit. But so that's what I've been doing. So we were in a tournament on the VCT qualification. So it's called Challengers North American 1 or whatever. Last Monday. and we had as day 1, day 2, day 3. We didn't make it out of day 1 because we beat the first team pretty simple, pretty easy. They were just a pick me up team.
Okay.
And then the second team was like the brand new girls superstar team that got formed like a week before. They pulled like every good player off any roster and made like a super team. And they just walked us like a dog. Like we had like round 2 I was barking for no reason. I didn't know what was going on. I'm saying, John, we got 13 out on the first map and then got 6-13 on the second map. We couldn't get 1 round, John. 1 round, bro.
And you like this? You like competitive?
Bro, I blinked and there was 2 women. I can't say this without. There was 2 women just like, and they were outstanding. They beat the fuck out of us. And but pre that game, it didn't affect the game. I was live. I made on the front page of Twitch because there was nobody streaming the games, so everyone was tuned into my stream watching the games. It was crazy. We had like well over 1,000 viewers, and it was just I didn't even notice though because I'm in the game. I'm competing. I don't have OBS open. I have just my Valorant because I need like maximum thing here. So I didn't even know what was happening.
Gotcha.
I don't even have my Twitch chat open, and I'm like, I went from 100 to 300. I got a couple of texts on my phone that I seen a lot of mid game, and I was like, oh shit, like I should check this like on our OT. And someone's like, 300 viewers, you're doing great. And I was like, oh fuck, like oh yeah, shit, all right, okay, let's get the shit going. And then we got to 1,000 viewers. So it was crazy, but game with the ladies, my duo said, or one of my teammates, sorry, my teammate said, bro, no worries, like people are panicking, we're getting like, you know, a game day feels, and he's like, dude, no worries, we're actually gonna like dick them down, like no worries, let's we'll fucking get it.
Dick these ladies down.
No, I think he said we're gonna dick her down, but the girl he was referring to was like 17 or something, 16. Bad. How bad?
Oh, this was the teammate that got fucked. They
Docs.
tried to like. Oh no.
Yeah. So contextually, can like taken out of context, even in context, taken out of context, bad phrasing. But like the thing is, no one even in Twitch chat complained. The girls didn't complain. It went over my head. We said like, whoa, bro, come on, bro, like whatever. Like we said that got into the game, no worries. Left the game. Clip got posted as that was happening. Like immediately got posted to Reddit. And it blew up during that course of that game. However, a couple Reddit mods were in my stream, luckily, and they got the thread taken down. But it didn't even get out of hand. Like it didn't go anywhere. But there was a lot of like people who wanted to complained, and he made an apology after, you know, getting doxxed and people like finding his address and all this weird shit. But no, like immediately was posted. His address was posted.
What the fuck?
Like within like 5 minutes, his address was posted. Like we're around like 3 in this like 28 round game, and his address is posted. We didn't even notice though.
For shit talk though, like that's all.
For
it was.
shit talk.
Yeah, I'm not okay with that.
And
like,
after he corrected himself and was like, oh no, we're gonna beat them. And I was like, somehow this is better, but
yeah,
right. Like somehow. And the game before, like our pre-game before the all guys team, the game before was, dude, we're gonna fuck these guys up. Like we're actually gonna fuck them up.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, like let's get this shit going. Like we're gonna win. And just because he chose the addiction differently, which I get it. Like I get it. There was poor choice of words, and he could have been like, yo, my fault. Like honestly, I didn't mean it that way. Let's just whatever. And people would have been like, oh yeah, we get it.
I don't agree with that. I think if you can shit talk a guy like that, and then shit like you're not. Now you weren't being like, yo, let's rape these girls.
No, it wasn't even vulgar. It wasn't even like
that's what I'm saying.
Woman. It was said to a guy too. That's also fucked up. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it should be like that. But I understand addiction's important, and I also understand that they're like suffer a little bit more than guys do in the scene. Also, they're a brand new female superstar team. My whole Twitch chat, even though I have really good mods, there's a lot of banter. They're like, can't believe letting girls beat you. I can't believe. Whatever, like there's a bunch of of stuff that isn't just shit talk. So I get that, like whatever, but I think an apology or just like a yo bro, like when we called him out, that should have been enough. Us being like, yo bro, like what the fuck, and he's like, oh, I meant we'll beat him, like no worries. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. That should have been like it. That should have been the whole conversation. But
I
think
steal
their money.
Yeah, well, I think it's just like, bro, fucking like if we're gonna bring. And I'm all for like inclusion. Like everyone should have the same equal rights type shit, but equal rights, equal fights, dude. Like, you know what I mean? If we're competing against dudes or girls against guys, welcome to the games. Like that, because that's how it's always been. Like,
no, I agree.
Like, but there's always been there's always been that there's always been that of like people saying too far of shit and then they get called out on it, and then even if it's a guy to guy and be like, you're such a fucking dog shit teammate, like who the fuck are, like you flipped out and that was too far. When it's shit talk and the only difference it makes is because it was a guy to a girl, doesn't hold any weight to me.
We've gone a bit too far with so like my whole thing is like, when you are trying to make a difference in the world or make a change or fight against diversity, you're going to have to understand that you're going to have to put in more than the people who are on the other side of the battle. It comes with every battle. It comes with race. It comes with the sex identity. It comes with every fight you're doing. Like, I am an Indian guy growing up in very rural Canada where like I get racism all the time, and it affects my job position, it affects my authority, it affects everything. And I have to understand that to do my job and to prove my point as a person and to like honestly just stand my own, I'm gonna have to do more than if I was just me but white. And that's just a reality. Like, you can complain and yeah, it sucks, and I'll have a drink to you, we'll cheers, I'm like, yeah, fuck that guy for saying slurs to me, but like that's just what it is. And if we're gonna if we're gonna strongly encourage women to join gaming, which again is fantastic, I think that it shouldn't be an issue in the first place.
Right.
We shouldn't even see this in the first place. But now that we have to battle this or fight this battle, people who want to make a statement, being the professional girls, are going to have to just deal with more than the professional guys do until we find equal playing field, which will be a long time away.
I think so too. Like, I mean, yes, I've played with a buddy of mine, like, and we played Call of Duty, and it got to the point to where like she's good, like she's really good, but we played like maybe 10 or 11 games together. And this is where like the certain amount of shit talking was different to her, and it was very pointed at her than me, and I was on her team. Like, we were
right. Yeah, no, exactly. I get
that.
this,
I don't agree with that. I'm like, like if someone opens their mouth to talk shit, guy or girl, I'm gonna meet him with the same energy. Like that's also, especially if you're a friend. I grew up with the whole thing of like, put out the same energy you want out. It's like, bro, if you're gonna playfully shit talk now, but I'm a little more sensitive because there's been girls who I play with who go towards, I think I've talked to my chat about this a little bit in the past live streams, but like I get uncomfortable when the talk goes sexual, even just casually sexual, because as a guy, I know what that looks like. So I don't participate in that shit. But when it's shit talk, I feel like that's playful, but you're in the competitive scene, and
the Valorant cringe scene as well. Valorant is just going to be a hot dude. This is based on the community, based on how it's grown. Valorant should become like a highly sexualized game for whatever the reason is.
Shit. I can't stand it because it's from a bunch of 13-year-olds who don't know how to have sex.
Yeah.
Well, I think you've talked about that too in the past. Of like, that shit's weird to me. Yeah,
I agree, and I do get roped in at times, but I also, a lot of the time I do it in a really ironic way. Like, even last time, I remember my duo like hyped me up for like winning a round or whatever, and I was like, oh, you like that, daddy? And we both burst out laughing because we couldn't hold like the bit. Like, I was just like, because there was someone on our team that was saying the same shit, and then I like met his energy like 4 rounds later, and I was like, I couldn't like hold a straight face doing it. But it is like, regardless, the game itself has become like a really sexually charged game. E-dating is rampant through it. People play the lesser game modes, John. Like, well, lesser. I mean, like, if like a high level player in the competitive scene, well, lesser game modes, they will play like the 5-minute quick plays, the 10-minute quick modes to speed date and meet women. Multiple people that I like know, like I know of, actually do this, and it's what the content is right now. A lot of big creators are playing with someone of the opposite gender, sex, or whatever they're attracted to, into quick play modes or unranked modes just to flirt and shoot content. The biggest creators right now are doing it. The biggest Valorant creators are doing it, and that is the main form of content next to just Radiant ranked gameplay, which is like 100 people tops, 80 people, 80 creators. There's only 500 of them, so
I think that's why I can't stand Valorant and what it's doing, because it's not just the players, it's like the teams too. Like, the teams are promoting that type of weird shit.
100%.
Like, as
well, the player base is just every player base. You just merge to whatever the content creators do.
That's so weird to me. Because I remember having and I was playing unranked, like trying to have fun, and this girl was like, bark for me and I'll give you a heal. I was like, is this fucking real?
Yeah.
Y'all fucking do this shit? I'm out of here. Like, I left the game immediately. I was like, I'm not gonna get like, hey,
all fours and like
just sexual harassment. Tell me that's not like
it is,
but it doesn't.
It is.
But it doesn't matter if it's a guy because we can hold our own.
I'll just say fuck it, I don't need the heal and swing and then die, and they get really mad at me. And like, it's just a joke, and it's like,
okay, then why don't you get on all fours and suck my cock, and then maybe I'll just shoot the.
But no, John, you can't say that.
That's so fuck up.
You wanna know why?
No.
There is no reason. You just can't say that. There's nothing I can put together fathomably to make that. Well, it's a little bit more extreme. Still isn't. There's no reason.
Well, I mean that they're the same. So
the premise is the same.
I gotta tread lightly.
I own you, bitch.
That's what it feels like. It was like
that's the premise.
Toxic masculinity was met with toxic femininity, and now we got these two fucking annoying types of people. Yes, correct. I hate the men who are like, what?
Guess what? You can't be toxically masculine, and that's it. That's the only rule. That's the only rule. You can be toxically feminine. It's fine. You can be toxically feminine.
How can you not be toxic masculine?
You just can't. There is no explanation for this, but you can't. Because guess what? People. That's it. That's all I can tell you. You can't because people.
I need you to educate me. Because I think there's I would put toxic masculinity as like a douchebag. Like being a total asshole. Like.
Yeah, I think it's just toxically, like my definition of toxically masculine, even though it's warped a lot, like I think it's generally just people who are just super confident and refuse to take criticism. Like a man who is just so thinks he's right all the fucking time. That is toxic masculine. Everything else that comes with it is just a derivative of that. He just has to be the best person and the right person all the time. He can't admit faults and has to always blame other people and like shift blame. That's toxic masculine.
I get that. Then why is it toxic femininity? Why is that a thing?
I don't even know how to describe this social phenomenon, but I feel like toxically feminine isn't even feminine.
I'm not even trying to trap you, but now that we're on this,
no, I'm a little bit trapped. No, but like I'm also trying to piece this together because I need to put this together for myself too. I don't think toxically feminine has anything to do with femininity. I've never met a woman who has been so feminine that it offends me or bugs me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
I find toxic femininity right now is that group of people trying to suppress all masculine traits.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, and I totally understand that. I think
it's not like I get if a guy's being a dickhead, you just like that's a dickhead. But like if a guy's like a girl broke up with me, I'm going to go to the gym, and they're like, dude, you don't have to do that. You can just like get in your feelings and like no, like that's such a man thing to do is like just to work through your problems. And I'm like, what the? Did you just write that on paper? Like, say that again. Like,
put it on Twitter.
No, like there are things that men inherently just do. And while we have a lot of things to work on as like just as a group, as a natural group, like we aren't good at X, Y, and Z. And I think, maybe these certain things would be better for us, like emotional expression. I think we could all work on that as a generation. But like overall, like a dude's got to do what a dude's got to do sometimes, and things haven't changed that much. Like overall, what a man should be hasn't changed that much. It's just how you perform it. You can't it's just how it is. But people try to shut that down, and that's what toxic femininity is, in my opinion. Or they're trying to take that energy and become their own. Like we agree that like men owning women isn't good, and which should not happen.
Right.
However, when you take that energy and go, I should own men.
No, that A does not equal B. Like that's where it's
what I'm trying to. Yeah, that's what I think as well.
But hey, But
that part's okay.
But it kind of goes back to like what you said. Like you have to make a bunch of headway and give people a lot of grace to give them that's where it drives me insane because I'm like, I have no prejudices. I don't. I think women.
I know you don't.
Women.
You have such little. You're so ignorant to prejudice is how little you have. You don't even know sometimes prejudice. That's actually what's crazy to me is that if anyone doesn't know you, you can come across as prejudice. Because you care so little about what someone's race, religion, or appearance is that like when it comes down to it, you'll just say shit sometimes. I'm like, in context,
Hey,
John,
John.
we can't say those things. But
Well,
I know that it comes at a place of love from you. Like you're like, I'll never forget this. That I love colored people, and I was like, fuck, he does. However, as a colored person, we can't have John saying these
dude,
things.
I got a little tipsy and was like, man, I'm just in such a good mood. I love white people. I love the Jews. Not like Kanye, you know.
I'm like Kanye. Yeah, bro.
No, and that's where it's hard for me because I think in content creation, I see a lot of the whole like, here, let's bring this avenue to people, and you know what, fuck that guy. It's like, why fuck that guy? Because he's like the stereotypical white cis male gender, whatever. I'm like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Do you like being called like it's good to celebrate other people. It's good to celebrate, but don't link shitting on someone else to do that. Just celebrate the wins.
I agree. It's like when you're. I'm not going to go into that talk. I'll just go here. I had a whole way, but I was like, I'm not going to start that. No. We'll go back. But I just think in general, we're in such a place right now where we could, like the younger, especially niche communities that are like gaming, let's say, where it's majority young people. Like everyone here is probably under 30. For like I say, like 99% of people are under 30 for gaming. And that's like a very similar progressive generation. Like I know we're a little bit traditional still, but there's a whole generation below us that's like very forward thinking. Even in the middle group, we're in the middle, right? Like even in that group, we could just all together agree to move on. We don't have to pin anyone against each other. We don't have to say because we want black people in power, we have to to promote white people because we want women included. We have to like make sure that men can't be included. We can just all move on. I feel like we're all in a place that we could just treat each other fairly and it wouldn't cause any issues. Like, because I don't get it. Like you're 30, I'm 25. We're both men. I don't know. I'm trying to think of how
you did the plus 1 year shit, didn't you?
Yeah. I did because 29 plus a divorce, right? So then we're all in a place where we can just move forward.
Yeah.
I don't have any prejudice towards a race, at all or anything like that. You don't have like if I game with a girl, I'm not mad against it. If I meet someone who's black, it doesn't upset me. Like, but there are people that are above us, like 30 plus, that it does. Like, there's still internal
100%
things. I know, like the way I was raised affects and all these other factors. But like 98% outwardly and expressly, I do not care. Yeah. So why can't we just all move on?
Yeah. Well, that's a human problem, bro. Like,
right?
That's a wanting conflict problem. I like actively. So recently, there's a guy who I think does amazing content. I just couldn't follow him on Twitter anymore. I just couldn't because it was affecting how I was viewing his content. So I was like, man, what a great guy. Can't do it. I could have actively stayed followed, and it would have continually pissed me off.
Yeah,
but I don't want like.
People.
But I don't. There's a. How do I say this? I was in that place where I wanted to be mad. I wanted to be upset. I love shit talking. It felt good. It was like, man, fuck that guy.
People
He's such a fucking
love being
loser.
angry.
I don't want to stay there.
Okay.
I don't want to stay there to the point where it's like I see a woman's only organ. I'm like, oh my god, fucking. Instead of being like, hey, that's okay. That's okay.
That's entirely fair. Actually, that is entirely fair. Like, because that phenomenon is occurring in Valorant in the Game Changer scene, which is the Women and Non-Binaries League, where I think the idea of it is fantastic. But anything that's ever posted about this league is drama. So anytime I hear about this league now, it's discredited. Like every time I hear GCA, I go, it doesn't fucking matter. It's not real, because all I hear is drama and bullshit. And like, this player did this, they dropped this. This person's like, there's nothing about the scene that's competitive that's being posted or pushed out. So anytime anybody hears about GCA, unless you're like directly in the scene, which is a small group, but unless you're directly in there, the majority of the player base just doesn't give a fuck or thinks it's a joke.
Well, then how would you fix it? Well, you're in there, bro. Like, you're in the competitive scene. How? Because I don't know esports. I know it from the outside in. I can watch it and be like, nah, that's kind of fucked up. And then hearing about all of these leaks and shit like that, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
How do you? But
It comes down to people, bro. People are the issue on everything.
And you can't control that. Like hate. You can't though. Like you have like with my intentions. Like I can say, be like, man, I'm not racist. I'm not sexist. I have fucked up jokes sometimes because I think jokes are funny. I would never intentionally treat someone like that, and I've shown that through like collaborations where I've like been made fun of. I've been ridiculed because I'm the loud is funny white guy. Like.
Yeah, you are the loudest funny white guy. That's fucking hilarious.
No, but like
God, you have no sense of humor. That's fucking crazy. Anyways.
But that's where go fuck yourself.
Bro, when he wants to be funny, he just gets louder and like moves away from his mic. That's crazy.
It is true. But it,
yeah.
but
the
it
closer
works.
John is to his mic, the more real he is. The further he gets away, the more he wants attention.
I'm not gonna dive into that. But
look at him going back.
Stop. Okay. Anyway. But it's one of those things like you can't monitor someone's hidden intentions.
Mm-hmm.
My dude's coming out with Miskiff. Do I think he's a racist, misogynistic piece of shit who uses F slurs all the time? Not really. Do I think he had a fucked up past? Sure. Do I hate Miskiff personally? A little bit. Am I happy that he got canceled a bit? To an extent.
Yeah.
Do I want his career to be over because he made some fucking mistake 10 years ago or something came out? Bro, people, like, no. I don't want anyone's career to be ended over a mistake. I don't, because I don't want my career to be ended over a mistake. Like, dude, the whole I love colored people, it came from a genuinely loving place, and I
think
fucked
intention's
up the wording.
important, bro.
100%.
Intention is, and you can tell intention. That's the thing, though. You can tell intention. Like, if
How?
me and a homie,
How?
you can.
Well, you can if you know me personally. Do you think that you can do that from the outside?
Okay, hear me out. So,
yeah.
Context is, this is entirely, I'm going to make one up entirely brand new. So there's a competitive pro player. I'm just making up a scenario so we can be entirely unbiased. Okay, competitive pro player DMing his homie.
Okay.
Like, they're friends. It's a year old, let's say. I don't know, a year old. DMing his friends. And it's a private Discord DM. There's messaging back and forth about the competition.
Okay.
And they call one of the other players a slur, unrelated to what they. So let's say, unrelated to what they are. They're not that slur. They're just saying a slur.
Gotcha.
They say like, that guy's a little F-bomb, right?
Mm-hmm.
That guy's a little. I'll say it. That guy's a little.
No.
Right?
No.
I did it. Okay. I did it. That's fine. That person themselves has no orientation being
absolutely right.
Gay, right? Nothing like that. Gets leaked a year later. Do you think he had like malicious intentions with it, or do you think he was just talking to his friend about wanting to beat that guy in a tournament?
I think he was just talking shit with his homies. Like I thought he was just. That's what I do. I mean, dude, me and Jordan, we talk very bluntly, and that's the thing is like if we want to cancel each other, we have enough ammo.
Okay, now this guy's 110 pounds and he's gay. He's a twink in the community, right? Now they call him the F slur. We're gonna beat that F slur. What's the intention?
It's different.
Probably malicious.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like,
especially
like 95% of the time, you can tell intention.
Yeah.
Even if it's like dry DMs with people you don't understand. You saying I love colored people is like, I don't even know you, bro. Unless I found another article of how you just called a black guy the N-word, I'm probably going to be like, this guy just likes colored people. Like, he's just trying to be nice. He's just a bubbly guy who's a little bit lost. That's what I would take that as. He's just a guy who doesn't know how to do it the right way. But that's fine.
That's true.
There's like, and if it's in a private context too, he didn't like go on stage and like tell it to this guy's face. It's not malicious and it's not hurting anybody. And the fact it got leaked in the first place is probably the bigger issue at hand. It's a privacy issue.
Yeah. How
that gets leaked is a way bigger issue than what's the context that is.
Yeah.
At this point, we don't have privacy as a society, especially as people of like that are like influencers or creators or moguls, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Privacy itself should be protected when it needs to be private. Like if it's in my own home, whether it's a DM or like an audio bug on my wall, that stuff like shouldn't be leaked. That's just unless they want it to be.
I think
unless the person you're talking with leaks it, there's no reason why a third party should have access to that information.
Do you think we should be aware that we unknowingly or knowingly give that up with our job. Because
I think you give up a lot, but you shouldn't give up privacy, like your actual private. Like, I mean, there's a difference. Like if you're walking down the street, you are no longer in private. If you say something publicly, you're no longer in private. But if I'm on the couch with a friend and we're having a conversation between me and him, and someone, some third party somehow leaks that, I don't know how that's remotely fair.
It's not fair. I think that's fucked up. Like
that part's almost illegal.
Is it?
Depending on how they get the information, yeah, it would be illegal. Yeah.
Well, I think that's, and I've had conversations about this because I mean, I'm a guy, so I'm not really worried about my address getting leaked. Like, unless
me too. Mine was mentioned leaked. I moved.
Yeah, the space looks nice, by the way. Like the whole space looks dope as shit.
It's actually, you saw the light on, right? It's just a bed.
Okay.
Like this room is not that nice. This light is it. It's a Valorant light. That's it.
I like that in the background.
Right? It's it.
What?
I've changed my energy too. I'm not so angry anymore.
No.
I am I am angry, but I do let it go. But like for the most part, people have really enjoyed that I am much calmer now. And the toxicity is decreased, but there's bursts still. Like I'll just be like, the bursts are hilarious. But like for the most part, I'm gonna be much more like just calm.
Was that for a professional look, or does that make you much happier?
Honestly, I don't find I'm more or less happy with the content that comes out of it. I am simply less exhausted at the end of the day, and it's less of a persona. This is, even though like before, like I'm more like this, where throughout my day I'm calm, and I have moments of like huge irrational emotion because I think it's fucking hilarious, and I just play up a bit. But the old me was like 5 hours of rational emotion, and I'd go to bed drained, and it would affect my next day and the next stream, and it would snowball. Now if I can game a bit and have like 4 or 5 moments of just like funny or whatever, people can take me more seriously, and they can understand that it also will help with like my persona, is that this is who I am. Like this person who's like educated and kind of put together is the person who's then playing a video game. Versus there's a gamer who has a real side to him. I want to be a real person who plays games. My whole brand's gonna be like casually competitive, basically. Like I'm a casual high level gamer versus like I'm a gamer who then occasionally comes out and does some serious podcasts, who like, oh, it's a persona online. Like when people used to see me on podcasts, like, oh, he's like a really cool dude. And I was like, no, this is just who I am all the time. You only see the gamer side of me. But I want to be this person who then games. It's emotionally less tearing.
So you didn't like having a persona, like a different persona?
No, it was cool for a bit, but it got really draining. I feel like if this was my job, I could then dedicate the energy towards it, but this is a second job. So there's a lot of times where it would affect me not wanting to go live, not when I do go live, being disappointed in myself. There's a lot of confliction with always having to be this person who is super happy, super energetic, and like always on his game.
Yeah, I can't do that shit.
Yeah.
Well,
I need to be this person who then has other emotions. Like people come to stream now and they're like, how's your day? And they can tell by my attitude now.
That shit sucks.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, she meant that. I don't
Isaac, are you okay?
Bad one. Me? They're like, oh, people have been wondering if I'm like tired more. And I'm like, no, I've always been tired, bro.
Yeah.
Now you're just gonna see it. You sound tired. I'm like, I am exhausted. In fact,
those comments not bother the shit out of you? They do.
No,
they do for me. Somebody that came in, they're like, John, are you okay? It's like, yeah, I'm just not screaming at the top of my lungs.
I just say that. I'll be like, oh, I had a good day. Did this, and this.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you just don't seem very energetic. And I'm like, what do you want to do? Fucking jump on my chair right now? Podcast, but that's right. You don't want to see this. I just almost mounted my chair. Like, you want to shake my ass right now? Like, what the fuck do you want from me?
Well, I think that's been the struggle that I've had as a content creator is the loud equals funny guy, and then Mr. Cry if we give him money.
Mr. Cry if we get money?
Yeah, I know you popped
get money, Sean?
Bro, I would want because it's a self-worth thing. Like I had a hard time.
Are you that broke, bro?
Nah, it was more of like
some money, bro.
if you want to right now for having you on the fucking podcast. It was more of like
I have to pay you to come on this podcast?
Absolutely.
My people talk to your people. We'll figure that one out.
We don't have to. We can end this podcast right now. But
So
no,
the funds are low. We'll get back to you next month.
it was more like a self-worth thing. But then I got fucking weird when people were like, "Oh, we got to give him more money because he's not crying." I was like, "I'm grateful. I'm just not weepy." Okay, I guess I
think
should
this-
stay in a constant state of not feeling deserving of the money that I'm making. Okay. And then I hard pushed away from that. Like, I hard pushed away from a lot of shit. Like, the stuff that I'm doing now, I have way more fun doing. This shit, like, way more fun doing. Like, talking to people, hanging out with friends. Like, I'm not competitive. I can get competitive, but then I die. Like, my personality
Well, like
disappears.
you can get competitive, but it's like it's a different realm to live in to be
I can't
competitive.
I can't do that, bro. It's not fun for me. Like that's why I'm curious. Like, what do you get the excitement out of? Because for me, it was like in my mind when I was creating content like that, it was if you're not at this level, what the fuck is the point of you doing anything? Like if you're not top 100, you're failing. If you're not top 500, what are you doing? Like what do you have to teach? Oh, hey, I'm barely doing enough to get through to where should be going. So. And then my personality would show, but I would suck at the game. So that's where like I've had a lot of respect for you because you were good and you were good at teaching and you were good at entertaining. And you still are. Like you have that hard, like it's a very hard quality to have, which is like you're focused on the game. You're just naturally good. I remember betting 50 subs against you in Apex, but you don't ever fucking play, and I lost.
I uninstalled it. Yeah,
I lost that shit. But you're just naturally good and entertaining. That's one of those things that's so hard for me.
Are you jealous, John?
Absolutely. Oh, 100%. Like
what the? Hey, bro,
it's good. It's hard though. Like it's hard to be like that. That's where it's like most of the people I've had on, they're just personalities. You entering in the competitive scene. You, in my eyes, you've been a personality, but now you going into this is like, now it's a 2-for-1. Like, sure, you can learn something from Isaac, but also like you've always made me laugh. I think our humor's been kind of similar, but now entering the competitive scene, like my question is, do you see that part of you dying, or do you see because being super competitive, there's really no time for jokes, especially if you have a team. Like maybe some like from time to time, but you're locked in. Like you have to stay locked in.
Let me explain this then. First of all, first things first, because I think that's a good period marker. Anybody have a marker for your stream? Because I want to play that back in my head, just over John complimenting me and jerking me off. Like I really want that clip. Just like the last 2 minutes. Like, that's what I want.
I'll always jerk you off.
Hell yeah. Two. What I was kind of want to say this for the last like 5 minutes or so is that everything you kind of said comes down to the content creation journey, where we've done this long enough now where with the comments, nothing bugs me anymore. There is not a single thing that bugs me. I've entered this space and I walk around like I am a content creator. Like some people will know me, some people won't, some people will like me, some people won't. Comments like "you look tired today" will affect anybody else like the same way. If like I went to Starbucks and you're like the cashier, like, "You look tired today. You fucking look ugly today." That's all I'm thinking. But like, any comment that's good, even the ones that are good though, they don't motivate me the same way. It's because I've kind of just desensitized to it. I am on this journey that I like, and this is what I've come to the last 2 years of content creation: is that I am on a journey that I enjoy. This is for me, and everything that I do fulfills me. I don't need comments. I don't need anybody else, because what I am doing right now makes me excited and makes me happy. So to balance it all, when I'm doing my practice, like yesterday was 7 hours, this morning was 5. I'm not streaming. I'm locked in competitively. Those are my reps. Then I go to stream and I play competitive, but I've had these reps. Like I'm good. Like I can do both now. Like I can be entertaining, and also I don't care that much. So I'll be playing in a high level, but it's kind of natural because I have the time in. Like that's what you do, anything like that. You can casually box when you box for like so long. You can casually do whatever. You can casually golf as a professional golfer.
I know what I mean? I don't agree with that sentiment at all. I tried being competitive for like a fucking year and I couldn't do it and do it simultaneously. I couldn't do it, in my opinion.
Interesting.
I think there's some people who have the chops for it. Sure, if you're in the competitive field, I think you can
for sure.
Yeah, there's some people who have it naturally, which I think you do. You just have the natural skill for it. But then there's people who have to work for that shit. And I think a little bit
100%.
of the other side, in my like only speaking from my experience, the other side of that dies. Or almost you have to like sacrifice it to make the other thing work. Sure, I could be locked in. I'm just not going to talk to anyone. I can't.
That's entirely
I can't
fair.
multitask.
It does come with a lot. So I don't know. Since about 17, I've been not even like 14. I've been about 14 years old. I've been like burnt out. Like that's just kind of what comes with who I am as a person. I just strive for so much. Well, I never really get to that giant goal that I've always wanted. I make it pretty far. Like my career right now has done amazing. Starting off right at 14, like I was in competitive karate. I went to the national team, didn't make it to the Olympics. Me and my friends qualified, but we had to make a sacrifice. Went to university. Wanted to be an engineer. My job right now is pretty good. Like I'm a construction manager. Things are going well. With content creation, I would say I haven't become like a staple in a household, which I would love to be a Tim the Tat Man, obviously, right? Everyone wants to be like,
sure,
like I want to be that guy. I haven't made it there yet, but all about this stuff is just burning me out. I haven't been to the gym in a while, but I live in this state of like finding a way to balance everything, and I've realized that it doesn't happen. The last 3 months, I've sacrificed my not health, but like the gym. Like I'm not in any physical shape that I want to be in, but I've already set my timeline. Like at the end of this tournament in LCQ, which is Tuesday, I am playing it out. If we make it far and I see potential, there's a next tournament up down the road, I'll still be with these guys, but it looks like I'm not going to be part of the team. I've taken my stab at it until next season. Then maybe next November I'll get back into it, next October, September. But if I don't make it into this big tournament series, then there's no point, because that's it's not going to be. I'm not going to find fulfillment in practicing for 7 months till September. I'm going to want to see results, or want to see activities that I'm excited for closer to that. So for me, this whole journey for myself is the reward. So every time I post content now, everything I've posted for like at least 6 months, while the numbers haven't done well, I love everything I posted, bro. Even the one I posted about a girl 4 days ago, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started, I was used to like hundreds of thousands of views, and I've realized there's a difference too. I was actually talking with a content creator friend in real life, which I didn't know I had one. We left the university and she went traveling for 2 years, been blogging the whole time. We went up for beers 2 weeks ago. She's doing amazing, but I might try to, she seems cool. But so the difference, if you're making content that goes viral, it's good for recognition.
Yeah.
But it's not good for retainment.
Mm-hmm.
When you make your niche content, it's good for retainment. So I have my videos that have gone, everyone in Valorant, like 80% of the player base, if you see my face, will be like, I've seen that guy before.
Yeah.
But now I'm trying to build this tight-knit community of people that like actually like me. So I post both contents. I know sometimes it's a wash. Like I posted a 5-minute video on how fucking rank rating works. That one I knew going in, I wanted to make it a viral video. I wanted to be I wanted to get a lot of views, and I succeeded that. The other day, I wanted it to be a fucking hilarious video that people who know me will find this one funny. And it's a girl rejecting me live in Valorant, or like not wanting to queue with me. And I think it's hilarious because the way we did it.
Yeah, the way you do, and that I think that's how I view your content as a super fan. Like I'm always like, oh, Isaac, I'm always gonna watch, even if I don't fucking understand it. It's you. You've won me on you, and that's
my goal. Is I want people to win it on me. Yep. So when I come to do a podcast with you, I can bring everyone with. This is it's YouTube, so it's kind of fucked up. But I want to bring people with me to wherever I go. Like I'm not big enough yet where that will just like I could be here and people like, will follow me over. It's got to be like on Twitch or like a video of some sort probably. I just think people had trouble actually even getting here in the first place. I have a lot of texts on my phone like, where the fuck is this thing? And I'm like trying to like just click the link, bro.
You have a dumb audience. It's fine.
I know they're dumb, but the whole journey is what's rewarding me so far. So posting stuff that's for me. Streaming is for me too. Like when I go live, I wanted to play this. I want to play Valorant when I'm going live now. I don't have a schedule. When I stream, I want to be playing this game. And if I don't want to play the game in front of people, I won't. That's never gonna happen. But like, I'd rather pretty much always game, unless it's with like a really close friend I'm trying to catch up with, or just like a group to unwind. Yeah. I actually gain a lot of happiness from entertaining people. So when I'm live, whether it's 10 or 30, there could be this one guy chatting to me back and forth, but I like that. Like I like being impactful in people's lives. So if I have that downtime to do it, and I find that's in that moment, it's the best use of my time, I will go live and I'll stream the game. Yeah. And that's what's fun for me. I'm having fun doing everything I'm doing. If I'm practicing, I'm so focused. We're winning those practices. We're learning. I'm enjoying that. Or in tournaments, just playing in them is fantastic, but you win them, I'm enjoying that. I'm streaming, I'm enjoying that. Posting content, I'm enjoying that. So there is
How long did you go before it was when it was not fun? Like how long were you doing that?
Just a year and a half.
Really?
I think I didn't enjoy it for the first part because I was like trying to learn. I'm like, why is it so hard to get viewers on Twitch? And I was like playing Call of Duty, just doing nothing. Like I was just playing Call of Duty, and I was like, I can't get viewers on Twitch. What the fuck? And like, why is no one going to my stream? Like, because then you have to sit back and realize like, you're just some kid playing Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Some kid in his basement with his 4 friends has more viewers than you, bro. Like, get a fucking grip. How are you gonna get viewers to come to your stream? So then I took a step back. So I was enjoyable because I was like, oh, I'm streaming, like it's cool, but it was just like a different. Then in the next 6 months, I was strategizing how to do it. Then after a year, I popped up on TikTok and I was like, this is how you do it. And then I was enjoying the viewership. I didn't realize where I was sitting myself emotionally. And then it became draining. Where I was like, this isn't really what's making me happy anymore. And if I don't get these views, I'm not happy. And then you occasionally get a shadow ban, you get canceled 3 times, whatever the situation is, and your viewership tanks, right? So now
it's like, what the fuck am I fighting for this for? I don't even like it.
Exactly. So you're so deeply unsatisfied. So it was probably not a year and a half, but it was a year and a half learning process. 6 months of truly being 8 months of truly being unhappy. Like this last January till about August, that's 8 months, 7 months. Once the cancellations hit and I really dipped viewership, it was truly dissatisfaction in being part of being like doing it. I still had a lot of supporters, by the way. So honestly, this cancellation didn't hit me. I hit me after. I would have been fine because it really, a lot of these things were mistakes and they weren't like life changing. Bugged a few people, it kind of blew up. I would have been fine. I just apologized and move on. Everything was great. I still had viewers the next weeks, but I let it get to me because my larger base was diminishing because other creators weren't pushing my content. Blah, 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 blah. So my grand numbers were diminishing, even though my stream numbers weren't. So like I could have survived and just rebuilt, whatever. But 8 months of satisfaction. Then in September, I was like, man, I just gotta do this for me, and I would just go live randomly. I fell back down to like 10, 15 viewers, bro. I'll go live randomly. I started I'm live when I'm not tired. I'm enjoying myself. I'm live on the weekend. Oh, I'll do this again. I've just rebuilt back to where I was in 4 or 5 months. By just loving what I'm doing again.
I think that's what I'm seeing a lot of creators do in 2023 is, and a lot of people who are stuck in like, somehow you still love Valorant. I think it's a dog shit game. It makes me rage all the time.
Terrible game.
And
top 2 games right now, but it's a terrible game. Apex number 1. Apex is still the best game, best competitive game on the market.
Apex is, fuck you, Apex. For
best mechanics, best game.
I agree.
Best game feel.
It's fluid.
Best game feel. It's fluid. Best game feel of all games right now. Apex Legends. I played it once this last year. Still the best game on the market. Valorant, I think, a second. For me. A lot of money.
Yeah, it was a good bit of money.
Thanks for that.
Yep, anytime.
Thank you for his chat for donating money so he has money. $250 because you suck at the game you play all the time.
Yo, somebody donate $250 right now, please. I appreciate it.
That's that toxic masculinity getting to you, bro. You thought because you had more reps in that you're just better than me.
I really did. I also was a little tipsy. I also really
you were a little, yeah. I took advantage of a drunk man.
But no,
what?
But it
add it to the list.
But it was something that I've watched creators do to where they're like, I'm not happy doing this. And I was like, hey guy, you know why? You're like, for me, and I'm watching people, because for me, I didn't want to get left out of my friend group who are doing other shit. I didn't want to be kicked out of the FPS group of people. I didn't want to not have relationship anymore with these people who I've built a good relationship with because I'm not playing the same games as them or the same type of game as them. I was so trapped under fear of FOMO and being left out. And I was like, if that's all the connection that we have, then good riddance. And
being multifaceted is really important. That's what I've recently started doing. So I have like 4 or 5 different streams. Like in a sense that last night, it was midnight. I went live because I had a long day. I just wanted to play some Valorant Unwind. I went entirely face camless. Successful stream. Just peak 40 viewers in the middle of the night. Just whatever. I thought it was going to just be 4 people in chat chilling. So that's like, it's 3 a.m. Eastern. That's like my peak audience. Banger stream. Other days, I come in with a stream idea. Guys, today we're going to whatever it is. We're gonna do New Year's resolutions, banger stream. I stream my competitive tournaments on a 5-minute delay, banger stream. Because everything that I'm gonna do those days, I want to do and I'm enjoying in that moment.
Yeah. I think that's also crazy to me because I think your reach far extends past your Twitch channel. I think your reach is incredibly far. And that's where...
Gas me up, but I actually don't know what you're talking about. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of get it, but I don't exactly know what you mean.
This is gonna sound insulting. I'm not trying to be insulting. I'm trying to be complimentary, but it's gonna sound like a fucking insult.
Okay.
Your Twitch channel does not represent you well. Like the way, like how many people watch you doesn't make sense to me. And I'm not one of the, like, I'm not trying to be that, oh, you just want more viewers. Like, you have had reach on Twitter that I've seen and TikTok and like multiple facets. The amount of connections that you have, it makes me think, oh, he's made it. He's a part of the competitive crew. He's a part of the Hiko crew or whatever. Like, he's a part of them. And that's where, huh?
No, go ahead. Keep going. I have something to say, but you keep going with this.
Well, I was going to ask, like, because I see that, and I'm like, okay, he's not a nobody to people's eyes, especially to some important people. And so my question, did that ever bug you? To where you were like, I'm a mutual to all these people, and they, like, did comparison come into play? I feel like.
It bugged me until about 2 months ago even. Until I really took some thought into this. And I sat down with like, what is social media? And what am I best for? I took a stab at YouTube. First video went great, amazing. I don't even know what it's at. I think before New Year's, I posted a couple days before, I hit like 20,000. And I was like, this is great. Cause like, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
YouTube didn't have an algo. Like, I'm learning about all this stuff, but yes, in my mind, I have done so much more than my numbers represent, and I'm extremely appreciative of that. And you have to realize there's different... To solve the Twitch thing, first of all, a lot of content creators who are live streamers or gamers value their worth off of their Twitch stream. Yep. Some people do have their YouTube subscribers, but that's if they know they're oriented towards YouTube. Otherwise, it's your Twitch stream. And there are certain things that go well over long form content and some things that don't. Long form content and its viewer base is entirely different than any other live streams are so different than any other form of content. And I've come to the realization that with long form content, if you are not available for that viewer base whenever they need you to be, they will not be part of your stream. If you aren't live like majority of the day, almost every day, or someone extremely notable, people won't come by your stream. Because the only thing is, if I take a break from TikTok and go back to TikTok, I can make a viral video the time I come back. I can end on 1 million. I can start on 1 million. If I go live on Twitch with 500,000 or the 500, I don't know why I said 1,000, with 500, and I leave for a month, I'll come back to 100. Long form content needs to be available for those people all the time. I am inconsistent, and a lot of the people who watch long form content watch them for some sort of background ASMR, where I'm more of a live entertainer. Almost every stream is an event in my mind. Some people will watch pro players. Watching Sinatra and some of these pro players is fucking boring because they're playing competitive really well. Like, I can watch a YouTube video of his highlights. That's amazing. Bang, 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 bang. But him playing competitive makes me, there's so many things I'd rather do. A lot of people watch a lot of other creators for their ASMR abilities or their calming abilities. There's lo-fi, and then they're just like, the game volume's at like 10%, and they're just like, hee. I'm like, oh, like they're having a great fucking time. I can see that if you're just like trying to sleep or at work or whatever. It's just dopamine. It's just something to do. I'm there and I'm like screaming. I'm also just like playing competitively and making like, it's tough. I don't think that's something that would reach on long form content unless I am someone notable. That's just not going to happen. I'm not Vinny Hacker. I can't just go do a week in Paris, do my model shit, come back and have 2,900 horny girls want to suck my dick. I get 4, but I'm happy with that. Like, you know,
who are they? Call them out.
I got some kittens. Sorry, John. I'm sorry. That's the Valorant lingo coming out. It's my fault. No, but like,
you're a part of that crew.
100%. It just comes out naturally. It's assimilation or whatever. You know, I got taken from the British and now I'm taken by the Valiant people. It's just
Stop. Don't do that. People will think that I tried to make you say a racist joke, so I'd feel okay about it.
No, you would never. I do it myself. The weird thing is, John, I have a British conscience. You know that? I have a British man in my head.
Mm-mm.
When I have manic episodes or just like I'm extremely tired or just exhausted, I will talk in a British accent. I will just get British and angry.
Do it right now.
There is a little angry British man that lives in my head.
I want to hear.
And I take it back from when like maybe my dad or my grandma or someone had some deep rooted trauma, and now my conscience is British. In a state of emergency, I get British. We get an earthquake.
Out of fear.
Come this way. Yeah, to the Audi.
Just when you're scared and you need to.
We have to evacuate.
Yeah,
bro. So anytime, regardless. What are we talking about, John? I'm sweating now that I said some British shit.
You're good.
Oh, see,
the British don't have rights here in America. You're good. Well, you're not in America.
I'm Canada.
This stream is American. This stream is American.
The Queen dying was a big deal for us. Well, not for me, but everyone was sad.
Us Americans.
Like, who?
GG. No re. Get out of here.
GGNT should have stayed rezzed. Farm orbs next time.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about politics. I don't give a fuck about it. I don't give a fuck about other people's politics either. I think that's what makes me fun in my eyes, is I can look at someone and just go by the base of their actions and not what they believe in. Such a fun way to live.
To live. Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier. I think before the podcast started. I'm not sure if you're alive or not, but about my coworker who's like, not severely, whether it's like extremely Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
What?
Sorry,
No, he's extremely.
No, Jehovah's Witness. Sorry.
Different story.
I was reading chat for a second. Sorry.
Caught me off guard. Anyways, he's extremely Jehovah's Witness, and the thing about that is that when I was wondering, because we're both in a very science-oriented field.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're both some form of construction builder, physics manager. Like, you know, we have to like understand how the physical world works.
Mm.
And he was asking me, because we're just like, it was a Friday night, we're working late and we're just tired. We're just trying to like get our minds off some things. And we kind of come to the conclusion that we're two very similar people with very similar like thought processes, but we came to different results. And the main point we were kind of discussing is the magnificence of Earth, and how there are like some things that are so astounding that we just can't explain. And both being science backgrounded people, we kind of just came to the same conclusion with different solutions.
Yeah. He
thinks that the magnificence is due to some all-knowing being. Something had to have done this, otherwise this doesn't make any fucking sense. And I have to agree, like there is a world where like some things just don't make sense. Yep. And to me, I said it's the unknown. And even the thing is, our justifications were the same. So I was saying stuff like, well, like, because let's get actually talking points for this. So I was saying like, there's, something might have a 1 in a billion chance of occurring. Like the Earth where it is, the existence of our life is like it's probably above 1 billion, but 1 in a billion chance, let's say, of us existing in the perfect orbit around the sun at the perfect temperatures where we don't get too hot or too cold. Water exists. We've lived long enough in this climate that things have evolved. Like it is truly unbelievable that this 1 in a billion chance of things has occurred. And he was saying, yeah, that's crazy, don't you think? I'm like, yeah. He's like, don't you think it would make more sense if someone knew these conditions and then put something in this place? And I was like, it doesn't make more sense. It does make sense though.
Yeah.
Because with how intelligent we are, imagine we were 10,000 years down the road, I can totally see us being able to simulate Earth.
Yeah.
However, for me, in our current understanding, I was saying, you know what? This is a 1 in a billion chance of occurring. But there's been a billion opportunities for this to occur. There are it is an infinite realm of space, and we're almost over a huge time span where there could have been another Earth and it's been deleted by a solar occurrence, and we've moved on from it. There's so many chances this could have occurred over such a long period of time that I'm willing to understand and just bet that this is just an occurrence. Same thought process, different conclusions.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying kind of stuff along the lines of, well, okay, then explain like love. how is love a physical or metaphysical occurrence? Love and instinct, even instinct was another one. How do dogs know blank? How do we know to sleep when it's dark? How do these occurrences happen without someone like kind of programming this? And I was like, I know in my heart of hearts, there's either like a huge evolutionary scientific experience explaining this, or we haven't discovered it yet. But like, I just refuse to believe that someone, even if it's 10 people or 100 gods, have the cumulative knowledge to then work this world out and all of its kinks with no kinks. Like if we designed it now, we'd have rep 1, rep 2, rep 3. There's just always going to be some sort of thing that doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just it was a really interesting conversation to have. But at the end of the day, like kind of the flaw in both logics were like, we're not smart enough yet to understand the fabric of why things exist as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, everything's done for a reason. We simply don't have enough collective intelligence to comprehend it yet. So even our copium, our justifications were the exact same in different words. I said, we aren't smart enough yet to understand the fabric of why it exists. And he goes, no, things have been done for a reason, but we aren't smart enough yet to know why it's been done.
Does it, the thought that comes to your head, if there was a God, does that freak you out? No.
I'm an atheist in the point where I go, if there could be some hard proof that there's a God, I'd be like, yeah, that's God now. That's who God is.
Agnostic or atheist?
I don't know the terminology, to be honest.
Agnostic
I just don't believe in
belief,
something for now.
Agnostic is, atheist is like, there is no God, point period. Agnostic is, to my knowledge, there is no God. It's still opening the end to it.
Yeah, I'm agnostic in the fact that I'm like, there are bigger things for me to handle right now. Like, how am I going to feed myself tomorrow? Than figuring out if God exists or not. And if he did, why am I not rich? Because like, I need to eat, bro. So that's where I come to this conclusion of like, it is not pertinent enough for me to care. It doesn't affect my day. I don't sit at home like, sheesh, how is the ocean conveyor belt so good at feeding our global climate? No, I'm like, how am I going to go live tonight so I can make money and then not be too tired to go to work tomorrow? I'm part of the matrix. I'm trying to escape this whole like corporate world matrix, but I'm also satisfied in the way I live my life right now. So I just have to focus on the next day at hand. I'm not getting paid to figure out if God's real. I'm not in some sort of great study. I need to focus on myself and what makes me happy. If God was real tomorrow, it would make me more or less happy than how I live my life right now. So I just have other priorities in mind.
Okay.
That's just kind of it for me.
Yeah.
If Jesus himself came down through a beam of light,
why Jesus
hovered over the ocean, I don't know. Sorry, if God came down from a beam
of light. No, I'm not mad.
Or came up. This is my default. I was raised a Christian.
There it is. Okay.
I was raised Christian at 14. I gave up at about 14. My dad wasn't very happy, but I still pray when I go home. I give like, dinner prayers and stuff when I go home, but I was raised Christian. I just didn't find it benefited my life at all. So I kind of gave up at 14, at least mentally.
It's hard to understand.
But yeah,
so at a young age. I mean, that's you. I grew up in a Christian household, and I was more pissed at God, because I got the shit bullied out of me constantly.
I don't like any ability. I don't like enabling people to have crutches in their life.
Yeah.
Whether it's some sort of disability, depression, religion, I do not like crutches. I am against crutches. And if you ever deflect something happening in your life to something else, you need to work on things.
Yeah.
I have a friend right now that I'm trying to coax through a breakup, but it's not like a regular breakup. He is somebody that to the public in general, the public eyes, may not be as attractive to other people because of his list of disabilities.
Yeah.
He has to work through but to me, he won't never find love again because he's disabled. He needs to work on self-confidence and self-improvement.
Yeah.
He has things that he can do to avert the situation and move on. I don't want him saying, I'll never find love because I am missing a leg. I'll never find love because whatever. No. There are so many more facets to a person, bro. You can do whatever you set your mind to. If you're depressed and you have days off or you can't do things for 2-3 days, you can, if it's really that bad, see a doctor and work on getting your efficiency to the maximum. I can do 100% of my days, 5 days a week, let's say. I have 100% capacity. but your capacity can be different than mine. Just meet your 100% a day. If you can do half things that I can do, make sure you do half, because that is what you've been handed. So you have to work twice as hard as what I do to meet what I do. That's the reality. Do it. It happens in different areas too. If you can gain muscle faster than other people, then that's your gift.
Yeah.
Everyone's got gifts. Everyone's got curses. Use what you can to succeed, and what you can't do, work twice as hard, 3 times as hard.
We were talking about this. Me and Ethan Toast, who he's on the autism spectrum, and we were talking about how there's like benefits to that. There's benefits, but then there's downfalls.
For sure.
And like just like with ADHD, I would say minor disabilities. I wouldn't even call them disabilities, just minor differences.
I agree. The spectrum of understanding just the spectrum to things is so important.
Yeah.
Because I know for sure, whether it's clinical or societal, I have definitely minor ADHD based on the way I push myself too. There's just no way I could function the way I do without having the ability to do 7 things at once, 100% of the time, stay wired all day, and then crash. The second I touch this bed, I'm out. I don't have these like, I can't sleep tonight. I'm calm.
I'm gone. Yeah.
I'm gone. I'm up when my alarm gets up, or I'm not up till 2 days later, because I need, that's how much I gas myself. I'm 100% on the autism spectrum based on the way I can understand my intelligence is that there are so many things that I process in my brain, but I can't portray.
You have that like retard intelligence.
Yeah, dead ass. I can't say that word, but yeah, I'm and then the nicest way, I'm a little bit retarded. And it comes across with emotional intelligence as well. But I did a lot of work to grow to make this an asset.
You absolutely did. Has your hill been harder than others? 100%. Has your hill been easier than others too?
100%. That's just the way things go, bro. There's no reason to complain about it.
I think
my dick works, bro. I'm happy.
I think that's where it's different. I think that's where I look at things. We talked about this in the members chat a few days ago, but it was like not everything's negative. Some things can be positive. Like I struggle with paying attention to one thing and not just like multitasking and then like forgetting where the fuck I am.
Yeah.
With my buddy, he hyper focuses, and I'm like, that's a strength. Like I would happily take, and it's like, but you forget other things. Like that's a weakness. I bounce and bounce. Like that's where I think
you just have to frame your environment to suit your strengths.
Yeah, I think that's where I get frustrated, because it's always like, well, it's a disability. It's like sometimes fucking superpower though. Like we negate that because, again, to quote what I said earlier, some people like being negative, some people like being angry, some people like the victim.
Yep.
Well, I don't have this because of this. You know,
I think it's mindset and environment. I genuinely also, there's a lot of things that just are crippling. Like there are some things that are just crippling, and there's not much you can do about it except for understand that is time taken away from you and energy taken away from you. If you have crippling medical depression, then those days that you were stuck in bed, just do the best you can to get through that day. And but the days you feel good, make sure you can do as much as you can in that day.
Yep.
That's all you can do. That's not like, yeah, sure, you might statistically or like even just mathematically there, if you can't do things everyone else does, you're not going to make it as far. Or perceptually, societally, you can still live a very fulfilling life, in my opinion. Doesn't matter what circumstance you're given to. I've worked in a couple my degree is third world development for like engineering systems.
Jesus.
And I've just seen that. I've seen like cultural happiness in the shittiest places.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's wild. Like you see real smiles. Yeah.
Like more smiles in the shittiest villages than I've seen walking down the streets of Vancouver.
Yep.
And the highest standard of living in all of Canada, people are like bummed out, bro. Mom is smiling, washing her kids' clothes in like a fucking pot, and like a wok. It looks like she is smiling, washing her kids' clothes. She has got something done. She knows she's going to make her kids feel good, and that was enough to bring a smile to her face.
I think that
it's all environment and perception.
It is all environment, but I also think that's part of like and I'm under the idea of we tell ourselves we can't do it to give ourselves a way out. It's a lot harder to put in the effort. It's a lot harder, but way more fulfilling. I've started like I went to the gym for a little bit, immediately noticed that I was happier. immediately noticed that getting out of bed wasn't really hard. But to put in that first effort feels like a fucking weight because I never did it. But once I did, now I know too much. It's like, it will help you. Well, I can't. You can. You don't want to. And it's okay. You don't want to. Just be honest.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to do that. And that's where, for me, I think that's just watching societally, like with where it's going, and maybe I don't understand, like widening the gap so much to where we make room for other people because they need that extra space to actually walk into the right place. Maybe I don't know that. Maybe I'm fine with, like, if I did know that, being like, hey, make more room because they need the more room to fit into their place, and then we can act normal. Because for my heart of hearts is like, everyone has a place here. Everyone does.
Yeah.
Not like, if you have any disabilities, I promise you, you have a superpower enabled with that disability. You know, us tall guys can pull all women we want, but we also have back problems. You short guys have to excel at other things.
I'm 6 feet tall, John.
No shot. Are you? Okay, you're standing up to a camera. You look tiny as fuck.
Really?
Yeah, bro, the way your camera is. Like, that's why I'm with the
I get that a lot. I had someone that was in my Twitch chat meet me like early December and like, you're fucking tall. And I was like, yeah, like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not like super tall, but I'm significantly taller than you. I thought you'd be shorter than me. And I was like, you're 5'7". The fuck you think I was?
I thought
like
you
a
were
legal
like,
midget?
I thought you were like 5'7". I thought you were tiny.
Come on.
No, sorry. It has nothing to do with your personality. I just, the way the camera is. Hold on. I've never done this.
In shoes.
I have to piss so bad.
Do it. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, that's where I think it's better to teach people to be able to handle shit criticism or shit talking or anything than to cater or try to move people to cater to those people, because ultimately those people are always going to exist. And I'd rather equip people how to handle certain situations, like with content creators who have never understood shit talk or never understood just some guy wanting to go online and be a little dickhead, or girl. You know, I got called a faggot by some girl on Warzone. I was like, that's
hell yeah, good for her, bro.
That's crazy.
And
but it's one of those things where I was like, I would rather be equipped to deal with that than have people cater to me and God forbid one person slip through and then it's like, oh, my world is crushed because I wasn't taught how to handle this. That's where I would rather go to when it comes to that. Like, sure, there's social movements. Like, racism, bad, 100%. Teach your children how to handle racism and know, hey, this fuckhead has no idea who you are. Don't let their words sit idle in your heart. That's the idea. You know, that, and I'm not defending that. There will always be bad people. Again, there will always be the people who are like, bitch, suck my dick, get back in the kitchen. Bitch, you don't belong here.
We'll have that in generations from now as well.
100%.
It'll be less, but they'll still be there.
Hate will always exist. Hate and bigotry and racism, all that will exist. Teach people what value they should let in their heart and what value they should keep the fuck out.
Equip people with tools, not solutions.
Absolutely.
Because tools solve multiple problems, but a solution only solves one problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's just how it goes. Teaching someone how to handle racism and bullying is the same thing as it's the same tool set, how to handle confrontations in the workplace, how to handle being a Twitch streamer and getting your feelings hurt by chat. Like, yeah, it's the same stuff. It's all going to be tools for emotional intelligence and growth as a person.
I agree. And catering around someone's disability. I mean, bro, there's people with disabilities that we need to make sense of, like people who can't walk, make a ramp, give wheelchairs, other stuff like that. Yeah. But that disability doesn't transfer over to, hey, I don't know how to talk. It's like, your mouth works just fine. Your legs don't, though. And that's where, like, you lift up what we need to lift up, and then the rest can do the rest. Maybe I'm heartless. I am also a white cis guy. I didn't grow up.
Doesn't matter.
But I didn't.
You can be as real as you want with that. Like, I don't like. So let's say someone, they're in a wheelchair and they're missing legs. Doesn't give you an excuse to be a dickhead. You know,
100%. You're like,
I will understand and be empathetic to the fact that you are not as mobile as me, and if I see you in an elevator or struggling up, I will reach out my hand to assist you, because that is just like in my heart of hearts, in like I'm gonna help somebody out. It's not gonna hurt me, bro. This guy has no legs. Let me help him up a flight of stairs or up this escalator or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But if you like are
If you're
an angry
able-bodied-
guy, but if you're an able, like if this guy's just like mad, trying to get up a flight of stairs, he's like, "Fuck you," and I'm like, "Oh, then go up the flight of stairs yourself, dickhead."
Yep.
He's like, "Oh, you're just angry at me. No, you can't do all this shit." Like,
You're just angry at me
You
because
still have to be
I'm disabled. No, I'm angry at you because you're an asshole.
you still have to be a good person regardless of your circumstances.
But that's where you start to worry, and this is where we can get it. Like, I love this conversation because I think, especially with comedians, I feel like have every right to say whatever they want because it's all just jokes.
Yes.
Now, if you take that platform and start spitting out political garbage or whatever, you now entered in a different platform. Yeah, they're not jokes anymore. But I think that's where like I stand in defense of the comedians. I love jokes. I think they're great.
Yep.
I think it's a unifying thing, honestly. If we all can joke about each other, I think it lets everyone in.
Comedy is such a huge outlet for so many things. It's an outlet for one, media, like news coverage. It's an outlet for identifying real issues in the community.
Absolutely.
It's also an outlet for relieving tensions from previous things. Like a lot of comedians will joke about things that are inherently dark.
Yeah.
But we should move past them. Like we could move past them as a society. There are ways of coping. There are ways of making light of the shitty circumstances that exist.
Yep.
And you know, the typical 9/11 jokes and all that shit. Like, yeah, some things burn out over time, but like when real tragedies happen, a lot of people will identify with comedy and laughter and some sort of happiness to get over things like that.
Yeah, I'd rather laugh than cry.
Agreed.
100%.
It can be a bit of a trauma response sometimes, but in general, I also would rather laugh than cry and realize that the world isn't this foo-foo colorful place that like, oh, everything's great. No, like a lot of shitty stuff happens all the time. Like the world, I think genuinely from like a non-biased perspective, life is fantastic. Life is fantastic, but the direction we're moving is inherently negative. And a lot of crappy things are happening all of the time. We've gone past the peak of what is society. And I think the internet and the travel speed of information is like extremely devastating to humans.
Well, it's what Dave Chappelle said. He said, how do you care about one thing if there's 30 things coming after you? Of course you don't fucking care. Because to us, 9/11 happened, and that was 9/11. To you guys, 9/11s are happening every single fucking day. So how do you care? Like,
it's wild. Like it's the in general, if this is some sort of simulation or going back to other comments, if this is some sort of some guy planned this out, his greatest mistake in all of this creation was the rate of anything changing needs to stay low. It's how humans are affecting climate change was our rate of development, and how the internet's affecting humans is that we can't evolve. The base premise is that is evolution, and we can't evolve ourselves fast enough to handle this information exchange and dopamine levels and all this chemistry bullshit that's happening in our brains because the internet is so fucked, bro. Yeah. And it's devastating society. But you can't do anything about it. So we have to live in this state. And that's just what it is. You can do things to mitigate it. You can delete some social media. But at the end of the day, we're all moving forward like this. So it is just going to be one of those things that you have to put on the back burner. And we're not going to be able to care about as much shit because every day there's like 6 or 7 9/11s happening. Not to the same extent, but there are like some really significant events happening every day.
I mean, dude, I have kids, and the amount of school shootings that were happening, I was like, I can't fucking pay attention anymore. Can't do it. It scares the shit out of me.
A genuine question for you. How long was 9/11 like stapled in the news for? Like how long did you guys talk about 9/11 for? Years?
Yeah, it was a few years. I mean, it was a big thing because America came together in such a fucking weird way, and I don't think that will ever be mirrored again. And I was a kid. I was a kid, and they rolled in the TV, and they're like, "We're all gonna watch this shit." My parents talk about that. My parents are more religious, and they have their biases or whatever, but they remember almost coming hand in hand and was like, "How do we pick this up? Like, how do we collectively?" And I don't think we'll get another one of those. I don't think America will ever come together again.
John,
I just don't.
Like Russia and Ukraine still occurring. We don't hear about it, bro. This is a real fucked up, huge thing going on. Like it's affecting everything. People are like, gas prices are rising. I'm like, are you fucking stupid? Says as a British man. Are you
The fear came in.
Are you fucking dumb? Like, do you not understand why all this is happening? We're not even talking about like a literal war occurring on our planet amongst two huge nations, and then everyone's getting involved. And we just like, we're like, fuck, man, milk's really expensive. Oh well, time to go on TikTok. We're so desensitized to this shit, and we're not pushing forward information that's important anymore. A real world coverage.
Can I tell you from my perspective, because I think mine is opposite of yours? I don't give a shit anymore. I cared.
Mm-hmm.
I really did care. I cared for a good 4 or 5 years about political stuff and all the things. Tried to make my weight matter. Like, tried to make my vote matter. Tried to make everything matter. I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, I don't.
And why
care.
is that, John?
There was no outcome.
What's the mindset? What's the mindset change?
I don't believe that we have the capability to do that. I think it's built against us, not Republican or Democrat or anything else like that. I think it's meant to divide us. I think profits do very well on division. I think things run well on America on division. Oh, you don't like Starbucks? Yeah, because you fucking like third world or third party coffee, whatever, and it tastes better or whatever. Fuck you. America's almost built on division, and it's going in that way. And so I was like, I'm good. Like I'm good. No Trump, no Biden. I believe the machine's against us all, and I think it's good. They divide, bro. The fact that do you know who Killer Mike is? He's a part of.
No, I don't.
He's a rapper, part of Run the Jewels.
Okay. Oh shit, you're dating yourself here.
Oh, he's good. Oh, he's real good.
Yeah, he was real good.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Was. It's gone, John.
Well, who do you listen to? Lil Uzi? Lil Uzi Vert? 21 Savage?
See, I'm in the generation where no Lil, no 21st Savage. I don't care what the fuck his name is. Like, I don't want the 20th. I don't want the 20th anybody. I want to know Lil nobody. That's just Wayne. I don't want to hear Lil anybody.
Okay, right.
Yeah, you're right.
So what's wrong with Killer Mike?
Oh, no, that's a whole other thing. You're like, remember Kiss? How about AC/DC? You're like, bro,
I didn't listen to that shit.
Okay, that's about you right now.
No, but it was the fact that he saw, and he's in the black community, but he saw a division immediately because his father's a cop. He's in the black community. He actively hates cops, but his father's a cop. So he's like, I understand there is a point of understanding that you have a job, and that immediately brought division within his own brand. He's a gun owner. He's black. He actively writes songs about like fuck cops. Like let's figure out how to get rid of them. And his father's a cop, good man, and so it immediately created division because there's no ability to look at someone and be, wow, you're multifaceted. You are one or the other, and if you don't agree with this one side of yourself, you are the other. So therefore, they're always pitted against each other. Bro, I know there's more levels to you, but to the public, you're the Valorant guy. I think your conversation points are amazing, but you're the Valorant guy. Both can't exist. You can bring both on the same level, but one's gonna top the other. Like even just in that, like there's other things, like it will naturally war. Even how we view celebrities. Oh fuck, Justin Bieber, man, he pissed in a jar and like did some random shit. It's like, but you can also find the good in him, 100%. Like with the shit that came out with Shia LaBeouf, I actively look up to Shia LaBeouf. Has he fucked up his life? 100%. But I know for a fact, if I was given that much power as a kid, I would not have been able to have done as well as he did. And he did fucking terrible shit. It's just human, man. Like
there are things that are just inherently human. Like you can't, that's the only thing like a lot of people like excuse themselves on and be like, that's human. Because I think mistakes occur. 100%. The only thing I'll let you do is like take the mistake and like run with it, like learn from it and move on. I'm okay with that. Like understanding things and then correcting them and moving on is just the only way you can actually, it's the only way you should function.
Right.
That's the only thing I let people crutch is like, I made a mistake. I'm like, okay, like that's the only, if I ever talk to someone and we're having an argument or fight about something they've done or did or are, and like, you know what, I have made a mistake. That is the only thing I'll accept as like a genuine response.
But no, there's not, I mean, Isaac, bro, there's not a lot of people who do, there's not, in my experience, men, there's not a lot of men that do that.
We're really bad at that. Really bad at that.
Dude, I apologize to, and I talked about this with Big Rob, I apologize to Bad Bear because I was secretly spreading shit about his name. And I couldn't do it anymore. Like, I was like, I'm wrong for doing this. I'm so sorry.
Mhm.
He was like, why'd you do that? I was like, because I was a pissant. Like, there's no excuse that I can. And that wasn't to get back in his good graces. I knew this would probably fuck up the relationship. We haven't talked since.
Mhm.
I just want to be, if anything, I want to be good with me at the end of the day.
Mhm.
I want to look at everyone who I can and go, I did this. I fucked up. I apologize. Now, to grovel and beg for apology after you've done it multiple times is fucked up. You apologize. Either they accept it, they don't. You move on. You dust the feet off your boots and move. Like,
I'm doing it that exact same situation. We kind of
I
moved on
know.
from the conversation of division.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it. I'll go back to it. I moved on from. I'm moving into a place right now where it's been causing a lot of conflict, but I know it'll be worth it for me in the long run. I've been handling people in my life that are no longer needed, and removing them.
Yeah.
Because I don't, and it's been super good for me, but it's causing a lot of it's kind of a conflict right now, but I'm okay to move past it. So there's ways you just cut this off, and I'm learning as a person how to handle this better. But dude, I cut out one person recently that was causing me so much issues and toxicity, and it's a friend group issue too. So it's still lingering in the fact that people that I know still hang out with this person, but this person caused me so much discomfort, has slandered my name in so many ways, and it's just made me very upset. Like, it is beyond recovery. If they choose to apologize, I could be civil and in their presence, but I'll never.
Yeah, you don't
trust. I don't allow that.
That's boundaries. That's not unforgiveness.
Yeah.
That's boundaries. Yeah. Like, that's.
But it's, and then one thing is I didn't communicate that well with my friends, and they were still hanging out with the person a lot, and it was causing divides between us, but it wasn't ever talked about, and it was just becoming this like just high school bullshit where I was like, you're not talking to me and all this. Then we sat down, I talked to every single one of them individually, and we talked about it, and now they all understand that this is my feelings towards this. And this person will never be part of my life again. And if you choose to hang with that person, regardless of whoever this person was to me or to you, someone who can hang with someone that has knowingly done these things, I don't like people like that. And I won't be associated with people like that, because I cut them out for a reason. And if you support these kind of traits and things that they've done, I am going to cut you out. And I'm slowly going through this trickle down effect of like, who am I wasting energy on? Who is benefiting me as a person? Not even just like I have friends that I've made a friend this last year that I've never met in person, and we hang out once a week, twice every 2 weeks. And I love her. I love their presence. I love them, and they make my life better by just being in it. Nothing, there's no intricacies, nothing. Their person makes me happy. Talking with them brings me happiness. Hearing from them brings me happiness. I know that in a similar way, things have happened where that happened to me with someone else, but I didn't bring them value, or they didn't feel like I brought them value. And sometimes there's no intricacies to it. They're just like, I don't enjoy you the same way you enjoy me. It can go in relationships. It can happen in just platonic friendships. And that's just something you have to suck up and realize is like, okay, cool. And then you just have to take these things with a grain of salt.
Absolutely.
And that life changes. That's why high school is so scary, right? And that like you had this whole thing you knew, and you got to move away, and you're losing friends. That's just part of life, bro. And I'm doing a whole revitalization now, being an adult and being like, I am doing too much. And it's not too much if I cut out certain things that aren't benefiting me at all. And a lot of these are friendships, and it's becoming a big issue. But I honestly, people can do it well. I'm blocking people when they're trying to. This person who I cut out is still harassed me the other week. I just didn't realize they could still contact me, so I blocked them through another media. And I talked to all my friends, and I was like, if you're hanging with this person, that's cool. Like, I can't say who you're gonna be friends with, but I can say you're not gonna be my friend. I'm not gonna be mad at you for being friends with them. I have no haste towards you. I don't hate you, but it's a reflection of character, and people of that character are not gonna be my friends. Whether I'm right or wrong in the situation, like whether my view of this is right or wrong, is up to me. And it doesn't mean I hate you. I don't look down on you because of it. But in my world, I don't value that.
Yeah.
So you will not be part of my world.
And that's not wrong. I think that's the most
And I'm not even like, hey, if you're friends with them, I think you're a shitty person. I'm just like, no. Like, there's a world where I'm in the wrong for this, but I don't care to think about that. I just know that I'm, as a person, much happier under these circumstances. And I've been empathetic. I talked with you in person. Talk with that person, and I've tried to make things civil and be a good person about things, but I've done what I can do in my realm of expertise, and I decided that just blocking people is the best way to do it at this point.
Yeah.
So that is what I'm doing.
That's whatever you see necessary. But that's your life. You're not telling people how to act in your life.
And if someone says that from their perspective, that's a shitty thing of me to do, then you know what? That is okay, but that is your realm of reference.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can think that I'm shitty because of it, and I am okay with that because the past week, bro, has been so nice. No staying up late dealing with bullshit. No pressure of like when I'm live and they're in chat or like, oh, we want a game later. Like none of, bro, life is so much better now. It was worth the troubles, man.
I think that's where, and for me only speaking on that, it felt weak to block someone. It almost is on social media. Be like, this bitch blocked me. It's like, yeah, because you're annoying as fuck. In reality, this is what you were doing to that person. It's annoying as shit. It's bad trait.
Yeah, they didn't like you.
Yeah. Oh, they blocked me because they're a bitch. They're happy. They're happier that they blocked you. I promise they don't think about you every day. But you're in their thoughts, or you like they're in your thoughts.
As long as you're empathetic, selfish. We live in a selfish world, but as long as you're empathetic, is okay. I wasn't this person that was being terrible to me. And they were a big part. If they're a random hater, you just block them. It doesn't matter. It's a peace of mind thing. It doesn't matter. This person was very much in my life.
Yeah.
And we had a falling out. But I took a lot of time to handle it, and I tried to make sure that because they at that time they're handing me a lot of value in my life. They made me happy. There was a lot of other benefits to this person in my life, and it just made me. I wanted to figure out what I could do because I know that in the long term, I'd rather still have them in my life at that moment. The frame of reference, I want them in my life still. So I was going to work through what the issues were. In the process of working through things, I learned that this person was not the person that they were anymore, or I perceived them to be originally, and I'm okay with them not being my life anymore. And they really aren't, and they still aren't. And they're going through places and saying shitty things about me and changing the narrative and whatever. And that's okay. It's not okay. I think it's wrong for them doing that, but I don't have to worry about it anymore. And people that associate with that person, I will soon not have to worry about either because I've told them. I said, hey, I don't care what's happened in the past because I never communicated this properly. But going forward, this is how I feel. And like, that's not fair to me. You're making me choose sides. And I'm like, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Because you can choose to, but you can't choose. The thing is, you should have chosen a side already, not between me and this person, but in your morals. Why would you be friends with somebody that is of this character?
Yeah.
And if you choose to be, I'm going to not associate with you.
Yeah. I think, and I understand that. We had a conversation privately, and I messaged you about, I was like, when is it okay to do this? And you're like, whenever you're uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's easy to say that because obviously it's your stuff, but like this person was providing a lot of financial support, a shit ton of financial support. And it was, for me, it was like, all right, have them around. Like they'll buy me the games I want to play and they'll pay the money I want to play. And I felt like such a bitch in my heart because I was like, because I'm giving the advice, like, fuck everyone else. Like make your circle what you want it to be. And at home on my own channel, I was like, I don't feel at home. Like this is
big. It's a big deal, bro.
And it's a big deal. And dude, and it was the moment I booted them. I didn't go to stream and being like, yeah, sure, there was less viewers and sure some people left with him. I'm restarting. I've restarted my brand entirely, and there's such a piece of like what you said. You were like, I'm happy with what I'm putting out, like because I put out the content I want to put, and sure, it gets less views because it's not FPS shooters or anything else like that. But when it does well, and it does well on something I like, it just skyrockets. Way better than like, I took down this piece.
It's just empathy. So people can make mistakes too. I've been I'm aware that like this person might change, or even the friends that are associating with this person might try to be like, hey, I had the conversation with Isaac, and you know what? Like, I don't like what you're doing. So could you cut that out because it's hurting my other friend? There are things that I can be around people that are friends with this person if they're trying to better this person, or I see like an active change, and it's not reflecting in how they act. If this person that you blocked, you had a conversation in 8 months, and they're like, I understand why this, and this happened. I like to be unblocked. I want to be a part of your life again. You can make the decision to do that. Like things are not finite. I just know that in this moment, I've been as good as I can be to these people, and there's no reason why it's forever gone. I can forgive, I can move on. You can rebuild relationships, but dude, it's your life, man. You can do what you want. And if you just have to handle the repercussions. For you, maybe there's not as much money, And if you regretted them not actually being around for their presence and money and whatever, even if it is just their money, you understood that your sacrifice that you made wasn't worth it. In a completely out of context, unbiased way, this person was providing value to your life and you're providing value to their life. If they want to come back and you miss their money, there's a world where you're like just totally allowed to be like, hey man, I fucked up.
See, that's where I'm different. It's almost impossible to rebuild trust with me when I find out that there's been like shit talk or there's been like backstabbing. Like it is insanely fucking hard to look at that person again and be like, man, I really trusted you. Like I like we're close. Like you're in a place of power in my channel. Man,
you gotta listen to yourself though, John. People make mistakes, bro. We're human.
People do make mistakes,
and it's all up to you to justify the intensity of how much it would take to rebuild, or if they could ever rebuild. But
that's where it's on my terms. I forgive them 100%. I'm setting up the boundary. You do not trust it again. Now that's with me. Like I don't think boundaries are bad to set. I think if someone fucks up, sure, there's a issue that they have to go through now, which is like setting it right according to how they want to. I don't do that to public figures, but if there's a personal person to me, and especially finding out instead of someone coming up to me and being like, hey, I just did this, I don't trust you. Especially if you're going to dodge the issue privately, and especially when I'm like, hey, I don't.
Oh yeah, that's different. I would probably, I agree with you. That person's gone.
Yeah, but if we had a conversation and shit, I mean, you know, me and Jordan were close friends, and we've had conversations where I was like, why were you like that?
Anime daddy and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk about how it happened to that guy though.
He's around. He got drained of all the fucking good vibe streamers who are out of nowhere starting to cancel their streams because BB just got fucking found out for being she like joked about sexual assault. It was really cool. As a woman, you know.
Interesting.
Really cool.
We'll dig into that in a bit. But so Jordan's you and Jordan have had conversations about things?
Yeah, I mean, but we're close friends. And like, so if I have respect for you and I've shown respect, now if there's a joke and something offends you, let me know and most likely I'll change. Like I won't make that joke around you. Will I make those jokes around other people? 100%. But around you because I care about you? Absolutely not. Like
and they can choose if they want to be friends with you based on the humor that you make. If they're like, well, I don't like you making jokes at all like that, then you can just like, well, then that's a hard boundary and we just can't meet in the middle. So that's it.
Yeah, and that's where it's like catering your personality. A joke is a joke, but catering your personality around someone else's sensitivities, not worth it to me. Because
to you, I get that. Yeah, me too. I'm with you. Like I'm with you. It's to you. This whole thing is all personal.
100%.
Empathy and understanding are the only things you need as a life skill to move past solutions like this. And it's again, to you. Like I agree. People who don't like my jokes, I just go like, just don't fucking watch me then.
Yeah.
They go like, well, no, I like want to be part of your stream. I'm like, no, then fuck off. Like literally fuck off. Like I don't actually want you here. And if you don't leave, I'll go through the effort of banning you. Well, I don't want to deal with this.
It becomes more of an issue of like, there's so much more effort of watching my mouth around when you're here. And then it's like, but I don't think I'm for you. I do have a question. Do you hold those same standards for friends that equal content creators, or is that just for friends personal? Because I feel like content creators who I play with are very different from friends that I would hold to a standard to. I've actually
friends, Sean. I have friends, and that's it. That's it. My content creators, friends that are friends are friends.
Yep.
Same standards. I have a very small circle. A lot of people think they know me. Like I have people come to my show and say, "What's up, buddy?" And I'm like, "Fuck you. Who the fuck are you?" They're like, "Oh, you're part of like I saw you chat on the Valorant creator server, bro." Like like I don't fucking know who you are.
Yeah.
Because we're not friends.
But you're
I might know your content. And I might also value as a content creator.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, they're like, I'll see, and they're like, oh, I'm like, dude, like, oh, what's up, homie? I'm like, I wouldn't say we're not homies. I'm like, oh, what's up, like, bro? Like, I love your content.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we're friends, bro. Just because we're two content creators, I don't know who you are. I don't like you. I've had the same content creator friends pretty much like the whole time. And I add more and I cut some out, but it's small.
Yeah.
Being a friend with someone's a lot of work, man.
Because I think I put, and I've talked to, I think I have that same thing. Like I'm mutuals with very high up people who have a good standard, people who have good rapport with everyone. And then I'm like I'm like the local, hey, I love colored kids, like type thing. Like I just fuck up and mess up my words. I'm not so brand friendly because I don't mean anything maliciously. I just fuck up. And I think that's where where was I going with this? God damn it.
It's okay.
No, but I think I look at the people's worth privately over their performance. Like I love having you on here because you like what you do, and I don't want to ask the fucking cookie cutter questions of like what got you into Valorant, how blah blah blah. Like I feel like that's very base. It's very easy to ask those questions versus like where do you like how do you feel about this thing like when it comes to competitive and other stuff like that. That's where like I find the value in the people I have on the podcast. And with you, I feel like you have immense intelligence, especially emotional intelligence. Like you've said that men need to work on it. I don't think you do. Like sure, there might be
because I have worked on it.
You have worked on it.
It's been bad. At 21, bro, it's bad.
Yeah.
My girlfriend at the time, this is the whole thing, but like I think after 5 years of dating her, I never actually loved her. And it's a whole thing, but the thing is, I used her as a step. I treated her as best as I could in those years, and I used her as a stepping stone for myself as a person. Right. She taught me a lot about how to treat people and how to handle things that I am forever grateful for. And we don't talk anymore. It was a pretty bad breakup, but I don't think that even though I didn't love her in those, I didn't know what love was. And maybe I didn't love her those 5 years, but from what I could do, I gave her the best I could. And what my definition of love was for those 5 years. And I don't regret a single moment of what I did because it was my decision at the time. We could have probably broken up a year earlier and moved on a little faster, but she helped me develop and I needed a lot of it. Yeah. I needed a lot of emotional intelligence. That's where I lacked severely, probably because of whatever the crutches I had, I don't give a fuck. I needed a lot of it. And now I make sure that everyone I treat gets that from me. Yeah. As best as I can give it to them. And people who were like me, like this person that I was talking about earlier, was terrible to me, pretty much where I was at 21 years ago, or 4 years ago, when I was 21. And I can just see through and I feel bad for that person, but I know they need to have a lot to grow it, of growing. And I don't do this manipulation anymore. No, there's no gas. I didn't even know I was doing these things, to be honest. I was just like let's say you get into an argument with your girlfriend. You're like, well, my friends say this or whatever. That's terrible. You can't do that, bro. Yeah. It's between you and that person. To me, that was more like a credibility vouch. Like, I don't get why you're not understanding this, but I'm also not intelligent enough to. Yeah. But I'm not intelligent enough to explain to you why this is happening. So I'm going to use someone else as an example. You can't do that. It's like terrible things, but you don't know what you don't know. Exactly. It just takes a lot of self growth. I spent time by myself. The last 2 years, man. You think I'm a social person? Like I'm an extrovert. Yeah. Or I'm an introvert, but I get perceived as an extrovert a lot. I've been 2 years, almost solitude, bro. Through COVID, I'm alone. I have a 1-bedroom apartment, a 1-bedroom house. I spend so much time with myself. It's a balance of not getting cooped up, but I have done so much reflection the last 2 years. It's been scary. I've gone through patches of depression from being alone. Patches of depression, let's say, of just being understanding that I'm alone, but it was all a growing process. And I'm very happy where I've ended up. But yeah, I was not always this way. I was pretty bad before.
I think rough times build us. I don't think always
character development.
Yeah. Like it's a good thing that you went through a shitty time. Like, cause you learned. I think that's where it's like, you can enable someone on accident by immediately letting them back in where they were. Cause they were like, the hit doesn't hit as hard. I know with my life choices, like if it didn't hit, I wouldn't have grown, bro. Like
I'm saying, bro, I moved out at 17 just because I've been alone since 17.
That's just hard.
I was 48,000 in debt leaving school because I had to take it out to be alone. But that was better for me at that moment. At 17, I was like, I need to get out of my house. My parents aren't shitty, but the environment for me was very terrible. Yep. And I would be nowhere close to where I am today if I didn't move out from my parents' house.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing is like sometimes family dynamics aren't horrible, but you in the mixture of those family dynamics can create nothing good. Or that, or they limit you. I was in a very grateful place. Yeah, like
they limited me, and it made me upset internally. They've really limited me, and it made me extremely upset. To this day, I'm still fighting with them about my content creation journey. Even though they're more understanding of it, I can't fathom how they're not fully supportive of it. I just can't fathom how you're like, my son is an engineer and makes X money. He is living fantastically. He is in a great standard of living, but he does that thing where he like plays video games, and like I just don't like that. How the fuck
But
what if I knit in my free time, bro? What if I just knit? There's no product. They'd be like, oh, if you knit, it's cool, because this is like an old school bullshit thing. If I knit for 6 hours a day, they'd be like, he's a little bit weird because he knits, but whatever. Like, haha. No, like.
But that's the difference. I mean, dude, my ex's family, like, I tried to explain them competitive gaming. They're like, I don't understand it. And then we'd turn on the TV and watch football. I was like,
talk to me. Let me talk to you about it.
Like, you're just not open. And that's where, like, again, we're kind of in the middle to where, like, we understand the more reserved, and we understand the more not. Like, we understand being yourself and fuck people if they don't like it. And what I'm trying to find the balance is not the aggressive, like, fuck you if you don't like me. It's like, if you don't like me, that's fine. I do, though.
That's where I'm at.
Like,
that's where I'm at, yeah.
Like, I got to the place where I was like, I'm good, man. Like, I have my parents' support. Like, I lucked out in that. Like, my dad is a self-grown, like, you know, millionaire man. Like, he just did his shit and worked it. But he also sees hard work and respects it. Like, he's been asking me about, like, starting his own stream on YouTube, which probably won't ever teach him how to do. And just getting into it. Yeah, 100%. But he's curious about it. Did it take time? 100%. Do you think I was just trying to be a lazy bitch at first? 100%. But I lucked out with my parents, and I've heard horror stories of, like, full-grown adults not getting validation from their parents. And that's when you find that, it's like, don't put so much credit in the negative and people who don't care about you, and always negate the people who are on your side and give you those good words. Like, give you, like, who can see, like, I have you on here because I love what you do. I want to see you elevated. Don't negate this conversation just to add fuel to your parents not understanding. Like, at some point you got to replace the good with the bad. Like, at some point you got to, and not always enabling. Like, I think you've got a good crew around you being like, hey man, like, let's step this shit up. Like, you're in competitive. Like, you've got an incredible charisma about you. You win. I feel like you'd win a lot of people who don't even like the type of humor that we're into on you, because I feel like you have a heart behind it's the heart, the competitiveness, and the humor that I feel like is hard to have. It's very hard to have. And where I probably lack on the heart aspect, to where I'm just like, man, because I've been around those. I also got burned out on the feel-good content creators who know bad vibes, and then I wasn't allowed to say anything. Oh, you can't make that joke. It literally wasn't even attacking it. It was an attacking an imaginary person that doesn't exist. And I have to protect those feelings over me feeling like a piece of shit.
It's really nice that even this back to the parent thing, to all encompass, but you understand this. And that's like a huge lesson for a lot of people. And whatever we're right or wrong, I don't care. But like anyone in my world has to understand that. There's a woman, sorry. My friend Sarah. Let's call her Sarah. I don't know why it's important. She's streaming later. I'm gonna go game with her later tonight. And she's one of the people that get that. She's younger, she's 22 or whatever. But the other night, I almost cried with this, by the way, because I don't know how that touched me. I have unresolved issues I got to work on. I don't know what they are, but I got to work through them. Yeah. She was saying something how, like, just the validation she was giving me, not even like she was just proud for no reason. I almost broke down crying, bro. You just don't get that. I barely know her, to be honest. We've known her for like 2 months now.
Especially if it's private.
There's
no audience. There's no
reason for her to say it,
bro. And then like,
don't do this. If you do it, I'll cry right now.
I don't mean to, but like there's a guy in my life, and I have a good group of men in my life. And like, so shout out to Big Rob, shout out to Deadly Dill, Sooner, Exaltimore, and a lot of these other people. But like Big Rob messaged me and was like, you always have done really good with this. He goes, I just don't think you believe me. And it was like, it does something, man, because he's a huge creator. Honestly, he has no reason talking to me in my eyes. In my self-worth of like what I provide, he's fucking up his brand by doing the same thing with like most of my friends who come on here. Like, I like them. I want to know more about them. This is my cheat sheet to do so.
Yeah.
But getting those words privately, when they're not provoked, you're not looking for it. Someone just being like, man, you're doing a fucking killer job.
I had a similar message, bro. Someone sent me. They said, hey, I know you've been gone for a bit. Like, it was like a week. I took a week off. I know you've been gone for a bit. Just want to make sure you're doing good. You're not someone I know I need to check on, but I just want to like extend my hand. And I was like, damn, because like he knows I'll be okay. But he also knows that I'm not doing okay.
Yeah.
But he knows I'll handle it. But it's just a shitty situation. People just don't know. People who get it like that get it. Like I took a weekend. I lied to my stream a while back because I took a weekend off this is a while back. I'm much better now, but I took during that weird phase I was telling you about, like I took a week off or a weekend off to lie in that bed and just be depressed and I told him I was on a business trip because I needed to handle something and I just needed to sit there with myself for a bit. But those darkest times have brought who I am to light today. They don't even make me sad. That you talking about validation made me more emotional than thinking about those times I was in that bed, just alone, no one to talk to, just by myself. I've never been. Never worry about me in this place where like if I'm dead by suicide, someone killed me, bro. Someone's killed me and framed me. I will never be in a place to take my own life, but I'll definitely be in places where I just wish I was in a different circumstance. It's dark, bro. It's dark, but I never see that as like a black hole to swallow me. I see it as like a pit that I need to crawl back out of. It's dark in both places, but one, there's a way out. One has some light.
I think that's character building though, because and also relatability. You now know what it feels like to have nothing, to feel like you have nothing.
It changed my perspective.
I mean? Like
back when I was like 21 and I was on this like not macho man, I was skinny as fuck, but I was like on this meta grind, like getting through school. I was doing all this shit. I was jacked. I was like, I need to get my business since I'm starting businesses. A little bit ambitious, but I didn't believe really in depression. Being as in, I thought, it's a mindset. And while I still do believe a lot of it is mindset, there are moments where you can become depressed unless you have clinical. So I'm not talking clinical, ignore that shit, but like the strongest people will get depressed.
Yeah.
And it's a real thing. A lot of it comes from burnout from those people, but it can stem from other things as well. And now I know that while depression I think is clinical, being depressed is human.
Yeah. Well, that's why there's a saying, check up on your strong friend. Like check up on the person who's always good. Because those moments when they're not good probably hit the hardest.
Really bad. I don't get them as much anymore. I had a year where I saw someone through it and they're like, I had a really good therapist, which I actually recommend. I thought therapy is a joke as well.
I love therapy.
It's 50-50. There's other outlets that are similar to therapy. Like this to me is working through something. And then if I had the time to sit down after and think through what we talked about, that'd be just as helpful, if not more than a therapy session. But therapy's helpful if you guys don't have another outlet of this. What was I saying? Therapy. I went to therapy for what?
You had a good therapist for a little while.
Because he didn't tell me to go on medication. Because he knew that I wasn't depressed. I didn't have depression. I was depressed. And then I need to just work through these things.
Yeah.
And we worked through them together. And it was fantastic. I could have done it with a friend. Same conversations. There was no specialty needed except for how to handle the situation.
Yeah.
And what to talk about.
Yeah.
So I guess therapy is probably an educated way to talk to a friend, but people who get you will get just the same way.
Yeah.
Like if we could probably sit down together and accomplish just as much stuff as a therapist could.
Yeah.
If we had things we needed to work through.
I think there's people who sit down with the wrong people and they like almost add flame or add fuel to a fire that's burning that should be put out. Like I have a group of grown men who talk to me and I'm like, man, this is fucking stupid. And they're like, you should probably check that. Like that's just relax. Don't allow it that much space in your heart. Like that's
no, genuinely.
And that's where it's like, I think bitterness was something I struggled with for a long time. I'm still working on it because there's still some content creators when they fall, I'm like, fucking burn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do my own thing. Have fun. Like that.
No, I get that though. Like that's just fuck, man. Like,
well, I've talked to like people who are like, it sucks. I was like, does it though? Does it suck? Is it kind of deserved? It's like, was it like I hated this fucking conversation, but one of my friends goes,
I have such a good conversation piece for this, but I can't even bring it up because they'd start drama. But I'll see if I can bring it up. Keep going. Your friends that.
Well, he goes, what is it? How is it your place to see what's deserved? I was like, you can go fuck yourself. Like it started an immediate question of like, have I not done this? Have I not, like, do I not want grace? Do I not want all this stuff? I was like, yeah, but they're them. And he goes, you're you. I also think that's where it's hard because, especially with being around family, you're allowed to have faults and you're allowed to have those problems and those questions. And they go, oh, like, I've had family members who are like, you've always been like this. I was like, no, I haven't.
You okay with,
like,
or you're okay with that? Like, if I have been, like, you're cool with that?
Yeah.
Or two, no, you haven't. But yeah.
That's where, like, getting away from the family dynamic and doing my own thing. Like, I remember, I'm not gonna go into that. I had to block that. That's people I love, and I'm not trying to start shit. But it was the validation was added after I was alone and after they opened their eyes and they're like, oh, this is working. I was like, and I can't be mad at them because it's a family dynamic shit and it's hard to get out from that. But at the same time, it's like, these people have always believed in me. It took you here to get here, like this long to get here. I'm gonna add way more stock into what they say, because these people saw worth immediately, or they built up the relationship out of nowhere and were like, hey, this is great. Like, keep going. Hey, you need to keep doing this. Like, my editor Sooner, I trust him with everything. I asked him about ideas. Dude, this wasn't, like, all of my business ideas, I've gone to friends who have believed in me from the start, and I'll ask their permission, like, not permission, but kind of like, almost like a blessing of like, what do you think about this? It doesn't make sense for you. Okay, why? Because you're this and this is this. You do well in these, this, and this. And it's worked out for me because these people know me who I am today. They're not comparing me to who I am as a child and still bringing me down to that level. It's like, I get it. I did that in everyday life, but I'm not doing that in everyday life now. I'm 20, 29, 30 in your eyes. And like, it's different. You know, being allowed to change and grow is really good. Like, really good.
Yeah, I have and to the same extent with the whole kind of people out of my life thing. I have a group right now that I've been distancing from, but it's mainly because of the thing you're talking about before, being like, you're working on like the whole bitterness thing, right? I have a group that everything that happens to them, man, is some sort of like great tragedy. Every little thing is like the biggest deal, and they blow up this group chat with like everyday issues that are like blown way out of proportion. And they're like, yeah, but because I had a shitty day yesterday, like the Starbucks order not being right was like the tip on the iceberg, or what's it called, the final the straw that broke the camel's back. Yep. Whatever the fucking white people expression is. And I was like, or they served you another delicious drink and you're happy with it, but you're just bitching and complaining about the wrong order. Dude, people who to the latest extent, this is an off topic, kind of on topic, pet peeve. If someone spells your name at Starbucks wrong, don't post it in your fucking story. They tried their best. Your name is fucking stupid. Catherine with a C. It could have been a K. Like, who the fuck cares, bro? That they spelled your name wrong. It's not an issue, bro. I even give wrong names sometimes because I know they're gonna spell my fucking name wrong. I'll be like Matt, and then they spell it Matt, and I'm like, perfect. Couldn't have fucked that up. So I had no expectation of that. 1 T, 2 T's. I don't care. Matt or Matt. I don't care.
But that's putting no expectation on someone who doesn't know you. That's putting no expectation on the internet. That's putting no expectation for good to. But if you always have an expectation, I should be treated the best. You should know me. This should be going my way. You should have showed up to my stream. This video should have gotten so many views. Your life is a fucking tragedy. You wake up,
yes, sir,
literally on the wrong side of bed. I wanted to wake up on the left. Add it to the book, man. Right? Write the novel, and then get the pity views. It's a real thing. There's a group of people who are like that. And a
lot of people like just getting the sympathy. I have
there it is. It's coming out.
A lot of people like the sympathy. Dude, they do. They just like, it's just that's their progress for the day. I'll go to the gym and feel good, and they will have someone say, "I'm sorry that you had to deal with that Starbucks order today." Why?
Why do you need the apology from somebody else? Why like it, bro? You know better than anyone. I've talked about this with Big Rob. My last year has been rough. It's been very aggressively tough.
Objectively, it's been quite terrible.
Yeah. I don't need the sympathy from people who don't fucking know me. If anything, it makes more sense for me to go to a friend privately who's been with me in those arenas and go, man, this is really hard. Hey, man, you got this. Keep your head up. Like, shit sucks right now. Don't dwell in the past that just looks like dog shit and be like, man, How is it going to get any better? Move your head forward. Make the day new. You have the power, bro.
I lost my train of thought. But
I'm so sorry.
it's okay. No, it's exactly. You just finished it. I was there, but I was kind of. Oh, fuck me.
You were talking about the people who have like the bad name, like they spell the name wrongs. And
No, it was going off what you said about your. Oh, sorry. That's what I was talking about. It's like, so at the same time, to people that so your friends that tell you things and you value them higher than strangers. I think the intensity of how you deal with those interactions is what matters. So like a friend means more to you, and if they say, yeah, you know what, like they're sympathetic towards your last year, it's understandable. But you get angry if or like you don't like if someone random does it. To me, those interactions are different. Where like if someone random does it to me, I treat it more like a dap up. They're like, dude, sucks that would suck, bro.
Yeah.
And that's it. And if someone I care about it, it's more like a hug. I'm like, oh, dude, sorry that happened, but like I'm here with you.
Yep.
So that's how I kind of. It doesn't bug me when someone's like, dude, that sucked that the breakup happened or whatever it is. I'll just be like, yeah. And if it's a homie, I'll be like, man, it did blow, but like we're good.
Yeah.
It just changes the intensity of the interaction. But I don't put too much mind to it anyways. Because at the end of the day, it's mine. It's my life. It's my problems. It's my everything.
Yeah. And I think with my group of friends, if you need constant coddling, then that just tells me you like the attention. You don't want to change.
Yeah.
I know a few people who I'm
I hope
like,
someone's listening to this, but yeah, it does, bro.
Yeah,
it does.
You just want to be nursed like a baby.
Yep. You need a tit.
You just need a titty. And
you need a suckled. You want to suckle for the day.
I ain't got no titties.
I got no titties out, bro. I'm
it,
nourishing nobody with these babies. That's I got nothing here.
Sure, I can uplift someone all day, but if they just want to hear me like suck their dick, I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah, you do it for a bit though. It's all about just like it's understanding. Like your friend just breaks up or just gets a divorce.
Sure.
I'm gonna be there a little more intense at the beginning, but I'm gonna slowly coax them, through it. I'm gonna slowly coax them, to be like they need it like a year later. Yeah. I'm not gonna be like the same. I'm gonna be like, okay, bro, you need that. That's something for you to figure out though.
Yeah. That work on yourself.
Work on yourself.
I don't know how. That's understandable. Okay, do this, and this.
Figure it out, though.
Well, it's hard.
You have to figure it out.
That's where I start backing off. I'm like,
yeah,
life is hard, man.
Yeah.
I have white privilege. Life still sucks sometimes.
I will guide friends the best I can, but until they're like, I don't know what to do, it's too hard, then I'm like, if you have a direction, bro, I got you. Mm-hmm. I will help you the best I can with your direction and whatever I can offer to the situation. If someone's sad and the direction for that moment is, I need to be fucking sad, I got you.
Yep.
If you're fucking sad and you don't know what you want to do, I can't help you. Yep. Do you want to get over being sad? I got you.
Yeah.
Do you need to be sad? I got you.
Yeah.
But don't make me. I'm not going to decide things for you. I'm not doing anything for you besides if you tell me what to do for you.
Yep.
As a friend.
Absolutely.
I don't know better than what you know. And some people should be like, oh, like, you should just be there like naturally for somebody. All this. If my friend genuinely needs something, they just gotta let me know.
Yeah.
And it can be the dumbest shit. I'll be there.
Yeah.
But let me know what you need.
Yeah. And but
needs to be sad, I'll be there I'll sit with you while you're sad, man.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need it later, I will do it again. But as things happen, obviously you take judgment to it. If, like, you're still doing the same shit 3 years later, I'll probably sit with you and be like, hey man, like same shit again. Like we need to do something here.
Yep.
We need to work through this.
But that's a good friend.
You need to work through this.
I think that's also a harder conversation for a friend to have with another friend. Be like, hey man, I get it. Shit sucks. You got to get the fuck up. You need to you need to get up. Like you're gonna die here, and I'm not. And my patience will wear thin.
That's the only decision I'll make for somebody is I'll be like, hey, you need to do this now.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired.
Yeah. You're pulling. My well's running empty, and when my well's empty, dude, we're both sad. We're both tired. Yeah. We're both exhausted.
We're both done. Exactly.
Oh, dude, I'm so happy we're having this conversation. Like it's because it's around what I'm seeing, especially with people, and this isn't as a huge scale, but when people bitch constantly about a game they're playing and that they're not happy, my immediate, because I did this. I moved.
So relatable, right there. Yeah.
I moved
That's
immediately.
Relatable as fuck.
I wasn't happy. I wasn't excited. I wasn't doing a good job. So I was like, fuck it. Let's change. I would like to get to the point where like I don't stay bitching, because complaining is not fun from a content creator. If anything, we have a very, very, privileged job to get paid to make content. It's not fun to hear anyone go, "Oh, this game's not fun."
I know.
You better figure it the fuck out and find a different way to make it fun for me to watch you. Like, because it's not. I think content creators bitch about trauma dumping in the chat, but they constantly fucking whine to their audience.
Yeah,
I'm
actually guilty for that.
Same. I did the same thing, but we changed. You changed. You found a way. There's people who still main the same fucking game because that's what they have their audience, but they're not happy. So now their audience is dwindling, and now they're whining about their audience dwindling about the game that they're not happy playing, and it creates a life cycle until, hey, they're happy again one day.
Yep.
And then back in the same thing.
It's a balance of, would you rather stream to 50 people, so just a number, 50 people with a game you're unhappy with, or are the numbers worth more? And would you rather go to a game that you're happy with in 25? You have to do that balance in your head, but understand the repercussions of both. One, you will lose your revenue and your viewership. The other one is you'll be unhappy during those periods of game time.
Yeah. I've
decided to make these things just like a fucking joke. Like when a Valorant game is like, we're getting our ass kicked in, I'll make like, this is fun, and like do dumb shit to like, because I know it's like
different.
You have to just lean into it.
Yeah, it's different.
I think everything's gonna suck at some point. Like even like
absolutely.
Yeah, golfing. If you're like, oh, I love golfing. Sometimes you're gonna have a bad game, bro. You're gonna hate that you went out, but like you gotta make the best of everything.
Yeah. I think there's a way to where you can like what you're doing and then have bad days, but there's a difference of hating what you're doing and every day, and then the rare good days. That's the difference in content creators. Like that's where it's hard, because I have respect for these people. Like their content's amazing, but I would like to go on social media and not hear them just bitch and whine, and just be like, hey, I had a win today. This is what's going on with me today. That's why I follow people on other platforms, because I want to know them on different shit.
You can do it entertainingly, like with Icebox, that map for Valorant. Everyone's like, shit map, get rid of it, fucking hate it, like whatever dumb shit. I'm like, if you guys deleted, I'll be like, if I didn't have to walk into A main and get fucked by 5 different men at once, I'd be happy to play the map. Like, it's a different way you communicate your feelings.
Absolutely.
And then, so just bitch and complain or make it something else. Like my content then is, it's complaining, but it's relatable, and people will get happier from being like, he's so right. Every time I walk into A main, I feel like I'm just fighting like 7 men at once, or like a Piper Perry video.
Yeah.
But if I was just like, Icebox is shit, people go, it is, and it upsets them. But it's relatable still, but it changes how they perceive it. They're like, I am upset about Icebox, versus them like, that guy's funny. Icebox does suck.
Yeah,
it's a different way to perceive information.
I did a whole playthrough of Elden Ring, and I got my shit rocked constantly. Was I raging? 100%. Was I bitter? No. I had a fun time. I had a great time. I had a great time with my friends doing that shit. Did I get angry and toss my chair a few times? Sure, because I got fucking rocked by some Elden Ring boss I wasn't able to do. Was I bitter and making tweets about how Elden Ring is unbalanced and not game of the year, and this game's utter dog shit, and I fucking hate playing it, but continued to play it? No.
Yeah,
I had a great time with it. Like,
make fun of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Chamber ruined Valorant, bro. It was an agent that came in and it had a one-shot boom cannon that would smack you off the beginning of the round, and like it's immediately a 5v4. It was a battle of whose chamber got the first pick that won that round.
Yeah,
and it was a joke for a year, and everyone's like, nerf
that.
Chamber, delete it, like blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, hey, Riot Games, you invented an agent that everyone's complaining. I wrote a letter to Riot Games, and I was like, hey guys, I don't know what fuck ass let this guy through your development, but he needs to be fired immediately. He spawns in with better guns than anyone else in the game, no matter what round it is, and he gets to sit there on a crazy off angle, which defeats the purpose of the whole game you created, right?
Yeah,
the whole game is a tactical shooter.
Yeah.
This guy can sit wherever the fuck he wants, shoot me in the skull, finger me, teabag my body, and then leave, and my teammates can do nothing about it. It is not fun to play against. Please fire him.
Please.
Anyways,
find this.
Love the new map.
Yeah.
Signed, Isaac.
Because I do believe you genuinely like the game. I
do.
I think
it's great.
But I think that's also the difference. That I think that people, if they could start doing something else, they would. That's where I'm like, do something else. Take the risk.
Just do it then, bro.
Yeah.
Take the risk. It's worth it. Trust me.
You changed your attitude, how you were acting, and you've had that changes of like, are you tired? No, I'm good. I'm just calmer. This is just me. I'm not always raging.
I like it now.
Yeah. Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited for the future of what you can. But we haven't really talked about your competitive scene and why you got into it. What? Okay, because you went from entertainment, I felt like, and we're like educating. what made you taking the step? And I think after this, we'll have to do questions because we're 2 hours and 30 minutes into this.
Oh yeah, I'm so hungry too. So
I'm so sorry.
I ended a 6-hour practice, showered, because yesterday my schedule was 7 hours of practice. I woke up at 9 on my weekend. Fuck you, Beanin, for like my team captain. 7 hours of practice. Then I got off, quickly shoved some bite in my mouth. I had a day with some friends to game. Not hate to them. I enjoyed the 6 hours we gamed. It went by so fast. Refreshing gaming session.
Yeah.
My friend Echo and Sydney, we sat in a call for 6 hours. Didn't even fucking realize it, bro. Just time went away. Went to bed at 11. Woke up today. I hadn't showered in like 2 days. So I woke up today, practiced. I was like, okay, time to sit down with John for a podcast. I was like, yo, cam's on or cam's off? And you're like, cam's on. And I was like, I'm gonna go shower real quick.
Yeah. And then I
had breakfast today and that was it. So I got to do that. But
that's why I was like, I do want to talk. I want to promote your team and what you're doing, because I do think that is a different step. And so I'm curious, like, what got you into actually competing instead of teaching fucking normies how to just compete averagely?
Multiple things: credibility and bored. My brand I want
Which
right
one
now
weighed out
to be.
more?
It was a boredom for sure.
Okay.
I got bored in queuing Valorant regularly, and I found a way to accomplish multiple birds with one stone. So now I have credibility, and that was really important for a while, because I think my whole brand is casually competitive, as in I can just pull up a game and I will casually compete with some of the best players in it. That's what I want to do. That's what my thing. But I want to be like, so games aren't complicated, guys. Like, if you struggle in a video game, it reflects other issues in your life, bro. Like, I have a full-time job. I get off, play this game, and I play with your favorite professional players. That's what I want to be, and show that you can do anything you want. It's not that serious. Video games are a recreation that have become this crazy industry. But for most people, even if you are like an aspiring pro, it is your recreation. It is a time away from real life to just have a break, hang with some friends. It's like any other hobby or activity for most people. Don't take it that seriously. If I can hop on and be better than you at any point in time, you gotta get a fucking grip, bro. Like, if you're playing this game 3 times as much as me and you suck, that is like a whole, you get some priorities straight, bro. Get better yourself a bit. Like, there's other things to worry about. That's my brand right now. It's like, I will lecture you about bettering yourself. And if you care a lot about this video game, like, guys who are like 1 rank above me, and like, I'm like, we're in the top percentile, bro. And they're like, yeah, but like, you peaked Immortal too. And I'm like, there's only 2 places you can go above here, bro. There are 2 other places you can be above here, and both involve a lot of time commitment.
Yeah.
So with this whole competitive thing, is I think it's a lot more. I was kind of bored of how Valorant was going for a bit. Same kind of shit. And I wanted credibility. And I think competing is really fun. So me doing this has been much more fun than streaming for the time being. Training and competing has elevated all of my game knowledge and helped me build a better brand for myself when I go back to just being a full-time streamer. To be like, okay, no, like, in ranked versus competitive is different. So if you want to be in my education process, I need the credibility to be like, hey, so in ranked you do this, but I can't tell people how to be a pro player, how to compete in a team, because I never did. I have an understanding, but I never did it. I think really good coaches have been a part of both sides. Like, you get it, but you've also done it.
Yep.
I don't think good coaches ever have not competed in whatever they've done. So
what
this
if you
actually
compete and lose? Does that remove your credibility?
No,
or just you just competing add credibility? Oh, okay.
It does. In my opinion, it does, because you got the experience. And while you might not have the same natural talent or whatever, you have now an understanding of what it could take or it does take, or the difference is, versus in gaming, for ranked example, like, there's a lot of things that you have to do to rank up that are meaningless in a competitive game, like in a tournament. First of all, your kill death, your kills don't matter in a tournament. People, the viewers care. Oh my god, 10's dropped 30. Do you know the fuck Zoms did to plant that bomb on B site? The kid died planting that bomb 12 times. No wonder he's got no kills, bro. He died planting the bomb
thing that could win
the objective.
Yeah.
Someone needs to do it. And Tens is great at killing, probably better at killing people than Zoms is, but somebody had to get the bomb down, bro. And that's a very difficult aspect of the game. So it brings up different perspectives of things.
Absolutely.
Where, KD, like, we all know KD doesn't matter, but there's other aspects as well that I have to explain to people now that I'm like, no, I have a great understanding of this. And trust me, your Sage isn't throwing. They just are having a really tough game based on these circumstances.
Mhm.
And it's brought a lot of knowledge to my coaching base and my understanding of the game. So it's to both credibility and whatever. And then I also plan on hitting Radiant this act. My goal is to grind out some Radiant to be like, okay, I hit Radiant. Like no one can come bitch anymore. Like, no, I have credibility solved. I have entertainment solved. I have it solved. Like there's no more poking flaws. And even though it's just like Twitch chatters being dumb as fuck and people who know me, credibility solved. That's been an issue I've had it for a long time. And I just want to solve the credibility issue.
I get that.
Even though I don't think I'm not credible.
But to the public's eyes,
yeah, I want to prove that I am. So that's kind of just it. No, it's another chapter in the content creation competitive journey.
Yeah,
the casual competitive journey.
Absolutely. Yeah, I see that. Oh, dude, I hope it. What's the team's name?
Ugly Hamsters.
Okay.
Let me explain. It's a random name generator because they couldn't decide on their name. I subbed in for them in November, so I had no choice about this name. But the understanding is they had 5 guys who couldn't pick a team name, so they just random generated it, and all agreed that was how this was going to go. So you know how FaZe is like FAZE, or ZE. I have ugly L2 Isaac as when I'm going to compete on Tuesday. It's ugly in front of my name. I fucking love it. It kind of broke down the barriers of like competitive. It really did. Because there are teams having to say they got beat by Ugly Hamsters, but do you know what demoralized? They have a contract salary by organizations to play this game competitively, and they have to post on their Twitter, 2-1 against Ugly Hamsters, gave it our best shot. See you guys next season.
I was about to say that's kind of like losing against Moist Critical's team. Like Moist Super Smash Brothers team. Okay.
Yeah, just own it now. It's funny to me. It takes the barriers away from like the competitive being like, it's competitive because it's competitive and there's nothing else to it. Right. It's about skill. There shouldn't be more to it, even though I think there's more to competitive scenes being like politics and stuff. I think at the end of the day, it should just be, we should break down those barriers and be like, good players get signed. This is a sports-based game.
Yeah.
That's based on revenue. So whatever gets the revenue will be chosen, which is why Shroud was picked for Sentinels for Valorant, because man, like Shroud's he's a legend, absolute legend. Watching him play Valorant is like watching a toddler trying to put fucking cubes into the right shapes.
Was it really
you put him
bad?
You put him for his debut. It was because I don't think he ever had a stab at competitive Valorant. He's had a CS:GO everything, but the game was different.
Yeah,
and putting him next to people who had those reps in, it was embarrassing. Well, he walks me like a dog every day of the week, but putting him next to those trained professionals,
it's different.
It was super fun to watch. That itself provided entertainment, and it got the views for the stream. It got the organization more money, more recognition. But there's just different reasons for different things. And I think that anything that furthers competitive play, as far as because it's going to be like it's an entertainment. It's another form of entertainment. To the players, it's sport, but to what fuels the sport is franchising and the money. So whatever gets that is what drives the industry.
Yeah.
Ugly Hamsters would drive the industry if we make it pretty far.
I would love to see that.
So would I. I don't think for this last chance qualifiers, we will get into the top placements. You won't see us against. You won't see us live streamed on a main channel. But we are facing teams that are really good. We got knocked out, like I said before, by the new V1 roster, brand new team, superstar team. We got to play them, bro. That was insane.
Yeah.
These are like the top pros. Like these are people that are contracted money to dedicate their life to play this game. And me, a guy who has a second job, has a social life, got to just be part of the game and play against them.
Yeah,
absolutely. That was an insane experience.
Yeah, well, that's more than what most of the people viewing your content can say, if not 95% of them.
Way more. I would say there's not been anyone that can compete with anyone that views my content cannot compete with what I've been in the industry. There's not a single person that is a fan of mine that can compete with what I've experienced. I will stand by that. I will stand by that. I don't know. I've never interacted with a single person that beats my credibility.
Yeah.
And has experienced my content. Yeah. Interacted. Yeah. Not even on no ego shit. Just like they.
No. I'm hearing.
They are me, bro. They are me. That's just what it is.
Yeah. I think there's a part of competitive where you have to believe in yourself and or have what people say ego. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to believe that you want to be.
Dude, the teams that want it more sometimes will win. That goes for everything in life. You can be not as credible as someone else. If you want it more or more passionate about it, you can win in instances. They might win 99 out of 100 of those times, but you can win that one time when it matters.
Yeah.
Job interviews, gaming, real sports. You present yourself good enough, and then in that specific scenario, you win it out. I was ranked number 1 for karate when I was doing it at 14 through 17. I was ranked 1 in Canada, and that doesn't mean I didn't lose a fight ever. You lose fights. Some kid wanted it more, bro. He beat the fuck out of me. Well, multiple kids have beat the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Because they wanted it more. They wanted to prove that they could beat number 1, and they did.
Yeah.
I've been laid out before for sure.
Yeah.
It gets your ego checked, 1, but 2, it's part of it. And to get to number 1, I beat people that seemed unbeatable because that's how you do that. You want it more than that person does. And whether you are better than them naturally or whatever the combination of things are, I know some of those kids that beat me weren't better than me. I was just on my high horse, bro. I was just like, let my guard down and the ego got to me. And then some kid laid me out. And I was like, fuck, that's.
Sure, but that doesn't take away your credibility of being professional in whatever arena you work.
It does not.
Like,
it does not.
I think that's where the internet is interesting. I at another arena where I couldn't handle myself with like some little fucking 10-year-old Timmy's like, you suck cock. I was like, I'm gonna make your mom suck cock tonight.
Yeah, right.
Like like I would lose my shit real quick because like my ego would be challenged. But no, man.
The best part is now, do it. No, trust me. Rewind that. Do it calm. Do what I do now. I used to do what you do. Do it calm now. Do it. Somebody says that. Be mid game. Just be like, and say it. I'll fuck your mom. That. The insanity that comes out of a voice like that, I've never had double up comments again, bro. This guy sitting in his chair, like he's gonna fuck my mom. Like
it's stream.
Like click out. Like there's a real threat behind that, bro. Stay calm. Don't get a reaction. Stay calm. I will fuck your mom.
Yep.
Terrifying.
Well, there has to be a part of that in the competitive where you do believe that you will find that kid's address, and while they're sleeping, you'll walk in the house.
Consensually fuck his mom.
Yeah.
Seduce. Yeah. Seduction is consensual, right? I think so.
I hope so.
I think seduction is consensual. That should be the word. Seduction. Seduce.
I'm gonna seduce your mom.
Yeah. I'm gonna seduce
I feel we're gonna get fact checked by some person. Be like, actually, seducing does not always mean consent. You've never been seduced.
It's question time.
Well, I did want to add. Yeah,
go ahead.
I do leave the floor open for members. If you are a member of the channel, or if you want to ask Isaac any questions, you can member up and ask the question. But our first question was, if you wanted to be known, famous for one thing, what would it be? And I think this is overall, not just gaming or content creation.
If I wanted to be known for something, famous for something, what would it be? That's tough because my whole thing actually is I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be financially stable and free. And so a lot of that times comes with recognition and fame, regardless of your industry.
Okay.
So being famous for something is a good question for me. I think I would want to be famous for something along the lines of what this is and exactly what we're doing right now. I want to be famous for being someone that is so heavily relatable to so many people and provides even the slightest glimpse of motivation to somebody because they're relatable. No Andrew Tate bullshit, no Jordan Peterson, just someone, well, maybe more on the long side of like Jordan Peterson and stuff, where you're just like, you are somebody that says what's on their mind and relates to a lot of people. You're not destructive.
Yeah.
And you just simply want to be a place for someone a good force and make as much positive impact as possible, even if it's just 1 point to 1 million people. I will take that they can take away and just move from. Like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not a fan of Andrew Tate. Obviously, like, there's a lot of things that, like I said, is good, but he discredits himself by being a fucking moron. Yeah. But it's part of his brand. I respect what he's doing. Just don't think he's a role model. Yeah. But he has said some good shit. And one of the things that stuck with me with a lot of my friends is they're just saying, like, when they said they're sad or whatever, the bullshit, like, dude, get a 6-pack and then tell me you're still sad. And I know that's making light of some depression.
It sounds super it's ego, but moronic. It's like the process of getting that will make you happier.
will make you happy.
Yeah.
It will, man. He's a men's motivational speaker, so that's for men mostly. But genuinely, man, like just having that one thing I took from him is amazing. And I'm like, you know what? That is true. Like, dude, if I ever, because I don't have my 6-pack anymore, a little bit fun since the gaming thing started, but I'll get back there soon enough. But like that process of self investment and is bound to make anybody feel amazing.
Yeah.
And it's true. You sit down at night, you go, what's the message there? Okay, if I'm not working on myself, how am I supposed to be happy? Facts. Okay, my fault, Andrew Tate. I will go and work at the gym tomorrow, or whatever it is. Even just to yourself. That's my lesson now.
Yeah.
I'll be like, thanks, Isaac. You're right. Today you didn't do fucking anything, and yeah, you're an idiot for it. But let's just make sure tomorrow's not the same thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Heck yeah, man. Well, I think that's good. Tell people where they can find you. And
I'm L2 Isaac on all socials, but it's spelled L21SAAC. I'm growing my YouTube a lot right now through Valorant educational content. So it's not your thing. Don't worry about it. My live stream is my favorite thing I do ever. It's just L2 Isaac on Twitch. And I just love sitting there chatting with people while I'm gaming. We get into these conversations too mid-game, bro. I'll be talking about religion and shit, 1v5ing a kid. I swear to God, I'll do it. It's one of my favorite moments I've ever had. And if you don't have time for long form content, I'm on TikTok at L21SAC again, L21SAAC. And that's the highlights. It's a highlight content. I post now stream montages, John, and they are fucking hilarious. It'll be like, I don't post that much on TikTok. It'll just be all the funny clips of 1 week compiled into 45 seconds with the funniest cutoffs you've ever seen in your life. And I'm so happy to be posting them, bro. They are so funny to me.
Hell yeah, bro.
That's it, bro. That's all my shit. Nothing else to plug.
No Twitter? You don't want people to know your opinions?
You can follow my Twitter if you want. I'm on every platform you can imagine. I'm most active on Twitter, to be honest. I just say whatever's in my mind. Yeah. You're welcome to like it or not. But yeah, that's where I'm at. L21SAAC on every platform. If I'm not there, I'm not on the platform.
Gotcha. Hell yeah, man. All right. Well, dude, thank you so much for being a part of this. And guys, if you like his content, go follow. I promise you won't be disappointed. Like, this shit is amazing. He's able to educate me on a game I don't give a fuck about, and I enjoy watching his content by myself. Hell yeah, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate you coming on, and I hope people check it out.
No worries. Is there anything else we're doing here? Or are we calling it a day?
I think that's it.
Fuck yeah. All right,
buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Good night, bro. Thanks.
Yep. And how do I do this shit? There it is.